Nashville, Tennessee is one of the top destinations to celebrate anything. And this weekend, Music City, USA is the hub for IndyCar's season-ending party. Just east of Broadway in downtown Nashville is where the latest champion will be crowned. And for the first time in a decade, the finale is on an oval. The chaser, Will Power, at one time hated these tracks. He came up just short of titles 3 straight years early in his career, and mistakes took him out twice. But now the two-time champion loves this type of racing and has won 10 times on ovals, including the biggest race in the world. Alex Palou has the math on his side in his quest for 3 titles in 4 years, but he's not won on an oval, and we know anything can happen. This is IndyCar Live, presented by Liberty Mutual. From Nashville Superspeedway, today the title will be decided for the NTT IndyCar Series Championship, and the points, 3 mathematically alive, but Scott McLaughlin is eliminated when Alex Palou rolls off the grid. It's 33 points, 50 for the win, plus 3 bonus points available, but it's really closer than that as we look at the tail of the tape over the season between the 2 championship contenders. Will Power is going to start 4th. Alex Palou, with an engine grid penalty, is back in 24th. So you hear us talk about points as they run. Effectively, when the race starts, the difference is 7. It is tight, and we are ready to go. Welcome to the Nashville Superspeedway and the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix, presented by Gamebridge. I'm Kevin Lee. This is Townsend Bell. That's James Hinchcliffe. Will Power is supposed to be here. He's going through driver intros. Here's the 2-time champion, Alex Palou. We will have a 3-time champion by the end of the day, and Power is on his way. This is going to be fun, Townsend.
Alex, here comes Will Power. He's just behind you and closing. Alex, last year at this time, we were in California. You were already celebrating. You had already won the championship. The championship has tightened up, though. It seems like in the last couple weeks, the bar keeps raising. You had the battery issue at Milwaukee. Now you've got an engine penalty. You got to start at the back. What's it feel like this year compared to last? How tough is the challenge now?
Well, I got to say the atmosphere here has been amazing on driver intros and also here. So it'll be sad not to have you guys next year. I hope we can still have you guys next year calling our races, because you guys are the best. But having that said, I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah, obviously Milwaukee wasn't great with that battery failure. Nothing we could have done. Yesterday we thought we were going to fight a little bit more to start up front on pole, but yeah, qualified 15th plus 9 places, 24th. So not great, but still we can make it. We have a fast car. We have a great team. And the idea is to move up front and try and get this championship home.
James, the guy hunting him down is with you.
He is. He having to run in a little bit out of breath there, Will. Probably not the kind of exercise you want before a race. But, Will, you've been in this championship position before. But racing can be an absolute roller coaster of results and emotions. You think back to Portland, dominant win, then Milwaukee, unforced error, maybe some lost points. How does a driver in this position eliminate all those thoughts and feelings of the highs and lows and just focus on the job at hand in what is almost a must-win situation for you?
Yeah, I mean, that is racing all in all. Like, you're going to have those ups and downs. You know, I feel grateful that we got to this point, that we actually have a shot. Obviously, we're relying on Alex to have a bad day, and we have to have an excellent day, but we'll do our best. I think it will be quite mixed up with the red tires. I certainly saw a lot of cars fall off a lot, but some held on to them. So I really, I don't know how this is all going to play out, and whether it's even a 3 or a 4 stop. It's going to be tire based.
We come back to a track that is very narrow in group, got the big bump down there. You have been able, though, to have a magical ability at avoiding disaster this year. How do you do this? I mean, this is Long Beach. We have several clips of you just barely missing moments that can take you out.
Yeah, honestly, pure luck, and honestly, I had won almost every race, even last week in Milwaukee when I think the 2 and first crash, I almost lost it there. So it's been close this year. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully we can keep our nose clean once again like we've been doing all year.
Well, you seem to have made all the right moves at the right time.
We'll have a 3-time champion by the end of the day. It'll be either Alex Palou or Will Power. Gentlemen, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
We highlight these superstars, but there are so many other stars that make things happen. You got to get things done on pit lane. That's where oftentimes the race is decided. For more, we start with Georgia Henneberry.
You're right about that. This is such a team effort, and we're here with Trevor Lacasse. 19 years with Team Penske. You guys have won the Pit Performance Award from Firestone for the 3rd year in a row. How proud are you of the efforts of this team?
That's actually pretty incredible given how competitive pit lane is. To be able to do it, you know, not just 1 year, but back it up 2 more times. It's pretty incredible. The group we've been able to stay together for the last 3 years here, so that's pretty special too, to get the continuity between the guys. And man, everybody on the car challenges each other every week. Between, you know, me, Doug Snyder, Trey Williams, our fueler Eric Crabtree, and Blaine back here on the air jack, and just everybody that's a part of our group here. It's just super special to be a part of, and we have a great time with it. You know, our other 2 teammates were right there with us this year, so that's always cool, and that's another battle within the team there to have that banner that hangs out at our pit stop area. It's pretty special to go out there. It's definitely motivating to have that there.
This championship has won over 17 races, and they have 1 more to get it done. Thank you, Trevor. Good luck to the whole entire 12 team. Dave.
Well, Georgia, Alex Palou, the driver, is 27 years old, but his pit crew, well, they skew a little bit more in my direction. Ricky Davis has been racing in IndyCar for 35 years. You told me that the young man motivates the veterans. How does he do that on this team?
Oh, he's brought a young attitude back to us, all the guys on the team, with working with Alex, and his positivity, and never a bad word. Never. I mean, I can't even put it into words how he makes us feel, but I've got a 65-year-old body, but a 14-year-old brain because of him right now.
And they put it to the test a couple of weeks ago. Remember, they saved him at Milwaukee, Kevin. What a great job they did getting him back in the game.
A good chance they have a lot to do with deciding this championship today. It is going to be awesome. The energy is here. We've got to climb the stands. We'll be up in the booth in just a moment. We have plenty more to come. Drivers getting ready to get in. The party is just starting outside of Nashville, and we're ready to find out who wins the Astor Cup today. You're watching IndyCar Live, presented by Liberty Mutual. Pay for what you need. Help fight hunger. Race fans can join Hy-Vee and help reach their goal of 100 million meals during the 100 Million Meals Challenge. Scan the QR code to donate or check out Hy-Vee.com. And this season, fans have had a chance to win one of 3 2024 Chevy Corvettes, courtesy of Hy-Vee. And this weekend, Hy-Vee provided the keys to the lucky winner of the 3rd and final Corvette in the giveaway. Congratulations, Brian Shellman of Mount Pleasant, Iowa. To find out more about Hy-Vee, be sure to visit Hy-Vee.com. Getting closer to the championship finale for IndyCar at Nashville Superspeedway, we head back out of the grid for more with Dave Burns.
Kevin, let's check in with the pole sitter. That is Kyle Kirkwood. He's had an interesting weekend on the pole. First time on an oval, crashing in final practice. Where's your confidence level and your confidence in this race car?
Yeah, I mean, it's high, obviously. The pole is great. The crash wasn't so great. Unfortunately, it was a part failure, and we ended up in the wall. Super unfortunate. It was tough for the guys. They had to be here till past 1 a.m. to get the car back together to be able to race here today. And we were able to do some install laps, or a install lap earlier, and the car felt fine. Fortunately, there wasn't any big aero parts we had to change. The floor was fine, which is a key factor of the car and its aero capabilities. So the AutoNation 27 Honda is looking good today. We're starting from the pole, and hopefully we'll just keep that clean air all day long. That'd be nice.
I was going to say, you obviously have a chance to control this race at the start. What wins at the end of the day? There's a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, there really is. You know, obviously staying clean is a big part of this. As everybody saw, I think last night, if you're watching, the second lane doesn't really work after a lot of laps. It works early on, but as soon as it starts to marble up, it can get scary. If you just get barely out of line, then it's going to be sketchy. So keeping it clean is a big part. Having good pit stops, good strategy is important. But ultimately, it's going to be whoever has the fastest car is going to win here today. So we're looking forward to it.
They've already shown they have speed, Georgia. We'll see if they can keep it there.
He was a winner in Milwaukee. He's searching for his 4th win of the year. That's Pato Award. You're going to be rolling off 7th. What are going to be the keys to ending at the front today?
Oof. I wish I knew what it's gonna be, but never race here. I think almost I would say, what, 95% of the grid has never raced here. So I think we're a little bit for a joyride. We'll see what it brings. I don't know if it's going to be 3 or 4 stop. These alternate tires are obviously going to be well, a bit of a guessing game to start off with, but great crowd here today, and we want to end it up on a high. I just want an opportunity to really race and give all the fans and everybody online a great show.
And with that being said, good luck, Pato. We are going to get set for invocation and opening ceremonies trackside here at Nashville Superspeedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we please ask that you rise and remove your hats as the Middle Tennessee State University ROTC Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Pastor Joe Nelms from Family Baptist Church in Lebanon gives our invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day. This is the day the Lord hath made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, thank you for bringing us here today for this great race. Lord, you started us out on the streets of St. Petersburg, took us to Road America, all the way to the historic hallowed halls of Indianapolis, and now here we are to finish in our beloved city of Nashville, the Music City Grand Prix. Lord, we don't have a brick to offer them to kiss or milk to pour on them, but we got the greatest trophy anybody's ever seen, the coveted Music City Racing Guitar Trophy. So we pray you'd give these good old boys and good old girls the nerves of steel and the courage it's going to take to motor these machines around this track today. Lord, I pray you'd give them horsepower under their hood, grip in their tires, and may we rise to our feet and cheer them on into victory lane in Jesus' name. Boogity, boogity, boogity.
Here to honor America with the singing of our national anthem, please welcome Nashville Harbor recording artist, Shaylin.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Let's hear it one more time for that amazing performance of our...
Standing by with Santino Ferrucci, who was 5th fastest in qualifying, but had a 9-position grid penalty. And we're just kind of wondering, after Milwaukee, you going to try to make them all up in one lap?
Can. You know, it's been an incredible year. I can't thank Larry Foyt, Sexton Properties, all of our sponsors, Chevrolet, for this incredible season. I can't wait to come back racing with them next year. And, dude, we're just going to go out there, have fun, try and win a race, and make the most of it. But you'll see me up there in lane 3.
All right, keep your eye on the 14. He's going to be fun to watch, as always, Georgia.
Absolutely. Another driver to watch coming from the very tail of the field. That's Nolan Siegel. We saw him practice one yesterday. He took a heavy hit to the back of that Arrow McLaren number 6 car. He was okay. The car was not. They went to work on that. The crew was here until midnight yesterday, swapping everything out, making sure everything was okay. He got to go out for that last practice session. Unfortunately, he did not qualify. They told the team not to rush. Safety is the most important aspect of it, but they changed an engine, a gearbox, and both corners of the rear end of that car. I must say, Nolan has had such a positive and strong attitude through this, but with the engine penalty and not qualifying yesterday, he's going to start in that 27th position. That's someone to watch coming from the back of the field.
So many storylines this weekend along with the championship, and yes, there's great music. In Nashville, Tennessee, Music City. That's where we learn the champion today. You're watching IndyCar Live, brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. For the 18th time in 19 years, the IndyCar champion will be determined in the last race of the season. And for the first time in a decade, the finale is on an unpredictable oval, just like Milwaukee 2 weeks ago.
Huge moment here.
Alex Palou is stopped on the pace laps.
Will Power leads the championship.
And Will Power is around. Both remaining contenders have a pair of titles, and a third season trophy would move each up another notch among the greats. One is literally the fastest in history, and at 43 years old, eager to prove he's still at the top of his game. Will Power has 70 career poles, the most ever, and his 44 wins trail only Mario Andretti, Scott Dixon, and A.J. Foyt. The other is only 27, but Alex Palou could join Andretti, Rick Mears, and Sebastian Bourdais to win 3 or more titles within their first 5 seasons. After more than 6 months, just under 4,000 miles, and 17,729 turns, it's time to crown a champion. It's the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix from Nashville, Tennessee, specifically Lebanon, Tennessee, just about 35 minutes east of downtown, where the party has been all weekend and the action is going to be here, there, this afternoon. For more, let's head back down to the grid with Georgia.
Kevin, I must say, you can feel it in the air. The intensity is building. We've talked about most of this field, but let's talk about the front of the grid. Kyle Kirkwood, Joseph Newgarden, the hometown hero. He calls Hendersonville, Tennessee home. He lives in Nashville proper now, and he's going to start second. He's looking for a redemption from Milwaukee, but as we know, he is the Oval King. Next, we have Felix Rosenqvist starting in third. He's got the Diplo Revolution Sirius XM car. Diplo, of course, did driver intros a little bit earlier today. He's in the house. Not to mention, I got some juicy news. Felix Rosenqvist, they picked up his extension year. He will be in this car for 2 more years with Meyer Shank Racing. So if you like him there, he's staying there. Will Power, obviously, fighting for that championship. We'll see what he can do. Next, David Malukas. Him and ovals just go hand in hand. Both of his podiums on ovals. We'll see what he can do from the 66, searching for his first win. And next, Connor Daly. He secured their spot in the leader's circle money. He's going to roll off 6th. He was so fun to watch in Milwaukee, and he backed it up with a 6th place starting position. We'll see what Connor Daly can do from the 6th position. Dave, where are you?
Georgia, I'm by the 8 of Linus Lundqvist, the already crowned Rookie of the Year. So as you see the American Legion blue and white car going around the track, know that he's had that award handed out to him. A couple of podiums this year at Barber and at Gateway have solidified him in that position. We'll see his plans for 2025 not announced yet. As for Colton Herta, he starts 9th today in the 26 car. Keep your eyes on him. He's a local now, lives in the Nashville area, but he's never won on an oval. We talked about that yesterday, and Colton told me, you know what, the oval I really want to win, of course, is the Indianapolis 500, but I would definitely take Nashville on Sunday as a stepping stone. And when you want to talk Nashville, you better remember Scott Dixon is in the field in the PNC Bank Honda. The orange and blue car, that driver has won the last 3 races here. Of course, they were 16 years ago when he won his last race. Scott says everything has changed, but somehow, Kevin, I believe that history can repeat itself, especially when you're talking about the 58-time winner, Scott Dixon.
Thank you, Dave. We were just down there. The energy first on the grid was great, and second, downtown all weekend.
Well, you heard it from the experts. Will Power and Alex Palou, they came straight from the stage with Diplo, and they were like big-eyed. Guys, that was the best intro we've ever seen.
I said best of the year. Palou said, no, best ever. 10 times better than anything we've said. Scott Borchetta, the team of Big Machine, everything they've done here to promote this race and pull off an exciting atmosphere here. These guys know how to do it, and they have done it absolutely phenomenally. The grid was packed. The energy was high. It was very, very exciting.
We've seen a lot of stars coming up this weekend. Some are here at the racetrack here today, too. And they're all here to find out who's the best of the season. It's time to get them started.
To give the command for today's... Here to give the command for today's race, please welcome your Grand Marshal, Diplo!
Drivers, start your engine!
Diplo, the world-famous entertainer who did bring it big for the driver introductions. We'll go racing coming up next in Nashville. Pace laps are underway for round 17 of 17. It's the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix presented by Gamebridge, and here's a look at today's starting grid. It's brought to you by Big Machine. Kyle Kirkwood with his first oval pole, and the Nashville native Joseph Newgarden on the outside.
Yeah, Kirkwood did a great job there, and his Andretti teammate Colton Herta there in row 5 looked super racy last night in final practice.
A couple Ganassi teammates there on row 6. Looking down, Andretti Global teammate to Colton Herta and a pole sitter Ericsson a little bit further back than he'd like.
Well, you got to go all the way back to row 12 for the guy leading the championship by 33 points. Alex Palou in that yellow car will be one to watch all day long.
Our track preview is brought to you by Honda. This is a 1 1/3 oval, but it is not straightforward.
It's 14 degrees front straight, or sorry, corners, 9 degrees on the front straight, 206 laps. It's a fast track.
But most significantly, the only all-concrete track that we race on. What does that mean? The groove is narrow at both ends. You can start high early, but after a few laps, you got to dip low.
Leading the field is the official pace car of Nashville, the 2024 Honda Civic Type R. Rolling through turn 2, so much in play. Will Power trying to make the comeback. Alex Palou has controlled his championship since mid-season, trying to become the first back-to-back champ since Dario Franchitti, one of his mentors, did it in 2011 with 3 straight championships. But Will Power has always been there, and he starts in that black and white Verizon car in the 2nd row, and you got to look way back to find Alex Palou in 24th. Palou cannot be content. He has to move forward. One last time. It's time to decide a champion. Here we go from Nashville.
What does Will Power do here in the first corner? He looks high behind his Team Penske teammate, Joseph Newgarden. Will Power goes to the high side looking for 3rd.
And there's 3 wide behind. Pretty sure that's Santino Ferrucci. No surprise there as Kirkwood under pressure from Newgarden on the outside of 3 and 4.
Joseph Newgarden tries to make the high line work. That's been one of the questions. The Indy Next race today was highly entertaining, and Newgarden's going to get after it. Kirkwood leads the lap, but side by side, Newgarden trying to hang it on the outside.
These guys know the track is clean right now. They have about 10 laps to sort it out, and then the degradation of the tires. That rubber will start to build offline, and it'll get sketchy, but Newgarden making it work right now.
Hey, as long as these two are running side by side, that second lane could stay good for quite a few laps. Newgarden back in line now, going to use the toe. Kirkwood defensive, and behind them we're seeing some more side by side.
Meanwhile, Alex Palou has moved up 4 spots in 20th. Will Power has picked up a spot. He runs in 3rd. There is a scenario where Power could finish 3rd and win the championship.
Connor Daly there looking on the outside of the Meyer Shank machine of Felix Rosenquist, who's fallen back behind his teammate David Malukas. Look at this, right on the right rear corner of the MSR machine, going to try to make that high line work that he used to such great effect at Milwaukee.
Better be careful. That right rear started to look pretty squirrely for Connor Daly coming off turn 4, but he stays with it and he makes it work. He's got the draft now to help him down the backstretch.
Colton Herta got it done on paddle of water around the outside as we're 2 by 2, 2 deep, and there goes Malukas by Will Power as we got eyes on Alex Palou in the lower left, up now 6 spots, and points as they run.
With that move, Kevin, Palou now extends to 13-point lead in the championship as they run, and he's not done. Goes to the high side of Jack Harvey. Harvey almost lost it though inside.
Will Power really could use getting to the front and leading laps. The only situation which would allow him to finish third and win the championship is leading the most laps, and he's slipping back. Felix Rosenqvist got by him.
And now Colton Herta's trying to line him up. That's a lot of positions lost in the last 2 laps. He's going to have dirty air in both lanes through 1 and 2. Herta's trying to make the high side work like he did a lap ago on Award and get that one done. Power going the wrong direction to keep this championship alive.
Power on the softer red tires. He's the first car up there that seems to be falling back right now. He's struggling. You can see the thumbs working as he adjusts the balance, but falling through the field. Not a good feeling right now for the 12.
It's a lot about tire management right now. We're trying to get people to get laps down and try to understand what these are going to do. Georgia, they didn't get a lot of meaningful running in the same conditions last night. What are people saying about the tires?
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about Will Power being the first on the grid to put those alternates on. And Ron Brzezinski, a strategist, told me that they made that decision to run alternates at the start of the race because there were so many unknowns. So if they fell off quickly, he wanted enough time to be on offense and work his way back on primaries. But if they were better expected, then they were out front with cleaner air. But right now it's looking to go in that direction for Will Power. We'll see what he can do.
Saw the two Ganassi teammates going side by side for a moment. Linus Lundqvist prevails on Marcus Armstrong. Battle for 6th right here with Pato Ward, getting past Connor Daly in that papaya and black Arrow McLaren car. Here are the Ganassi side by side again. And Rinus VK wants to get in the mix. He's in the green and black car. It's 3 wide. VK down on the low side. Got a 2 for 1.
And Linus Lundqvist, the first to get pushed up high onto the dirty part of the racetrack, and he's going to pay for it. His tires will still be dirty when he gets to this end of the track. Here comes Ferrucci.
Sure, he's paying for it with a couple positions, but he could have been paying for it with a trip to the med center. That was so close to an accident, but it's great to see that even if somebody does get a little bit of a wiggle, they can hang on to it as we take a look at the biggest movers in this race. No surprise, this man, Alex Palou, leading that charge up to 17th, +7 on the day so far.
And that's Scott McLaughlin right ahead of him, and McLaughlin is now mathematically eliminated. The only chance was if Palou's car didn't start, he won the race, and Power had issues. McLaughlin could help his teammate, Will Power, by staying in front of Palou, but Palou is on the charge.
Yeah, Palou on the charge in a big way. Now 23 points to the good. As you see there in the lower left-hand corner, Palou doing everything right in these early stages. Guys, it's not going to be long at this rate before Alex Palou catches Will Power on the racetrack. He is flying.
He is chewing up the field, and we had a nice mix of the alternate and primary tires. Primaries, the black sidewall like we're seeing on the Delaware Life machine of Hertz. Will Power, he's pitting. There's the problem. We saw him falling through the field, but now a trip to pit lane. This is going to undo his championship charge. He will go multiple laps down, pitting under green, and that's provided we just have a normal stop here, which isn't the case.
I don't see anything obviously wrong with the race car right now.
The lap belt.
Oh, no.
The lap belts. Remember, that happened to A.J. Allmendinger when he was leading the Indy 500.
And this is not an easy fix. Steering wheel's going to be in the way for the crew member diving in there. The belts are tight. They might have to loosen them. He'll lose at least a lap, maybe a couple here as they put new tires on. This hasn't happened in IndyCar for a long time, a loose seat belt.
Yeah, I think Kev's right. A.J. Allmendinger in the 500.
With a Penske.
With a Penske machine. I've had it happen in qualifying. I've had it happen in practice, never in a race condition, but that is not the kind of thing you can mess around with. This is not a case of the driver just, you know, manning up and dealing with it. Massive safety implication. You have to have that sorted. And as you said, Townsend, it's so difficult to navigate that space right now with tight belts, the driver in.
Well, normally the protocol is you've got your sub belts, then the lap belt goes on, then you clip in the shoulder belt. So to try to do it after the fact without restarting the full sequence is really hard, especially with the steering wheel in there. Normally that's removed so that the crew member has a lot more elbow flex available. And now Will Power paying the price. This is a disaster.
Already 2 laps down. It's going to be at least one more, 3 as the leader crosses the line. That's hard to come back from, even on a short oval.
And immediately, the team for Alex Palou, Chip Ganassi Racing, will be letting Palou know, hey, there's a trouble with the 12. Don't push too hard. We're in really good shape. they'll be giving their driver the information. Power, good to go, fresh tires, but brutal.
Let's listen.
I have to pit. My belt has come off.
That's a terrible feeling from inside the race car. You saw at the start of that clip.
Seat belt is unclipped.
Copy, which one?
The left.
Yeah, you saw his hand was off the wheel. He was trying to maybe see if he could do it on his own, but that's impossible at speed.
Yeah, and the lap is critical. That's like the keystone in the arch. You have to have the lap secure, especially here.
Heartbreak for Will Power, 5 laps down. Now, second in the championship is in play, and who's going to win the season finale in Nashville? Aerial coverage of the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix is presented by Honda. Beautiful look at the Nashville Superspeedway. It's great to be back. IndyCar for the first time since 2008. Scott Dixon, by the way, won the last 3 times here. Back on an oval is how we have finished the season with 6 of the final 8, 7 oval races. Kevin Lee, James Hinchcliffe, Townsend Bell at the Music City Grand Prix. What a turn of events. Alex Palou has all but clinched the championship because Will Power is 5 laps down. Dave Burns, the seatbelt came loose.
Yes, it did on Will Power's car, and Palou did exactly what he told us he needed to do. He said, I got to go at the beginning. I start 24th. He quickly picked up 10 positions. Then Will Power had his issues. Then Palou was told this on the radio.
All right, Alex, nice and smooth, man. You're now, right now, Power is currently 4 laps down and just rejoining the field.
And with that, Alex went back to work. He is now working on the top 10 run. He is 12th at the point, Georgia.
And Kevin, as you mentioned, Will Power sits 5 laps down. The championship contender before this race went green. I just checked in with the team. Nothing was wrong with the belts. They just came undone. So such an unfortunate ending to the 12th day.
You guys ever had that happen?
Yes.
Yes. And they put a lot of time into redesigning the latch that all the belts go into, the center latch, to avoid having an arm catch it during a crossed moment or a save or something like that. It's easy to do. Tight confines in the cockpit of an IndyCar.
But there's a big difference between the lap loose and a shoulder belt loose. I've stayed out with a shoulder belt loose and tried to fix it. The lap loose is really, really tough. I think it happened to Paul Tracy one year at Laguna Seca, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't pit either, but on a 1.3 mile super speedway, scary. Now our attention turns to who's going to win this race. We're at the part of the stint, guys, where nobody has any information on the black or the red tire compounds. The black tire will last longer. The red tire is supposed to be faster initially, but degrade earlier. And now you see the comers and goers 3 wide now into turn 1. Colton Herta to the high side.
You saw Joseph Newgarden on the charge, starting to think about challenging Kyle Kirkwood for the lead, but Herta in the black, yellow, and white Gamebridge car up in 4th. He's thinking about getting to 2nd in the championship. These are the top 2 right here. The 27 is the leader, and now we ride the Gamebridge on board with Colton Herta, looking up to Felix Rosenqvist.
Take a look here at the Firestone telemetry as we see Herta chasing down Rosenqvist. He is currently 3 points behind Power for 2nd in the championship as they run. What a result it would be for this team and this driver if they could elevate themselves up to best of the rest. It's been a much more consistent season for Herta. He got that win in Toronto, more podiums than he's had in his career, but it's just been collecting those top 5s and top 10s when they don't have the pace. And today, it seems like he's got some pace.
Dave, this guy lives here in the Nashville area. He's never won on an oval. Last night in practice, there was nobody faster, nobody more aggressive. This could be his day.
T-Bell, he felt like this was where this 26 car needed to be and could be, because he was set up very similar to pole sitter and teammate Kyle Kirkwood. He really doesn't know what happened in qualifying to end up 11th on the grid, but since then he's been going forward the direction he believed he would go. Right now just 1.6 seconds behind the leader.
And this guy, California native, kind of considers Long Beach a bit of a home race, Laguna Seca as well. He's won both of those races. Now he's a Nashville resident. This is sort of his third home race. What a way to finish off the season, but complete the trifecta and get the win at home. Also home for this guy here, Estemo on board, Joseph Newgarden. He's born and raised in the Nashville area. Him and wife Ashley live here. And he would love nothing more than a home win.
And nobody's been better on ovals for the last several seasons. Joseph Newgarden has won 10 of the last 17 oval races. He thinks it's been a miserable season, and I get that because they expect to compete for championships, but he's still been dominant at times. It's always been feast or famine this year with Newgarden. Oh, by the way, he won the Indianapolis 500 for the second straight year in amazing fashion.
So top 5 cars are all on the harder black tire right now. Pato O'Ward on the reds. Let's just ride and see how difficult it is at this point of the stint, thanks to Aero.
About what you'd want balance-wise for Prime. It'll probably be a bit looser on Prime, so I think leave it.
Critical piece of information at this point in the stint. They've got to run the softer red tires twice, every car in the field during the race. So they're trying to anticipate. It sounds like they'll go to the harder tire, Kev, on the next stop, and they're trying to anticipate the balance change or any changes needed with the car. It doesn't sound like Pato wants any.
There's the top 2. You're going to have lap traffic come and play. Who can navigate that the most? Alex Palou is the biggest leader. Alexander Rossi has moved up 9 as well. Stay with us from Nashville Superspeedway. Elf, the beauty company that stands with every eye, lip, and face, is empowering legendary females like Catherine Legg, the only female driver on the track today. Catherine has done all the ovals for Dale Coyne Racing this season, her busiest IndyCar season in over a decade. Welcome back to the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix, just east of downtown Nashville, Tennessee, where the table has turned quickly. The championship essentially decided. Admittedly, that's a bit of a buzzkill when Will Power's lap belt came loose in the early going. He's 5 laps down. Alex Palou is going to be the champion. Second is still up in the air in the championship. And the race is certainly up in the air, and that matters for many. Kyle Kirkwood in front of Joseph Newgarden right now. And we've already had our first stoppers. Pato O'Ward came in a moment ago. You saw it side by side, the first of the contenders. And here is the soon-to-be 3-time champion, Alex Palou, coming down towards Dave Burns.
And this is why it's important right now. Pato O'Ward on those fresher tires, almost a second faster than Kirkwood in the lead, Dave.
So Hinch, Palou radioed his team and he said the Reds are definitely the worst tire. He said, I'd be happy to go again and get rid of them, but the team said, no, we need to make up some time on track, so we're going to go to the primaries here. We'll put the alternates back on later. Palou on off pit road right there.
It seemed coming into this race that people thought the alternates were going to be the tire, a little bit more speed, and even though they're supposed to degrade, the general feeling was they weren't going to based on the tire test here, but once we hit the racetrack, it really did seem like Firestone brought the kind of tire the teams and drivers asked for. As you see the second stage of the pit speed limiter end there.
So Palou does 49 laps on the reds. That effectively puts him into range now to make it on 2 more stops, assuming he runs long on this black set, and then another red set he'll have to run at some point before finishing the race by the regulations.
I do like how he said this was the worst of the 2 sets, having only run one of the 2 compounds, as his teammate Scott Dixon comes in to change to the primaries.
Well, that's a radio communication from a guy leading the championship. There's no guarantee that that's everything. That might be code for something. Alex Palou has gone from thinking about championship to probably just thinking about winning out the season now. And you never know. There's gamesmanship up and down pit lane in terms of how they might indicate information.
But I do like the fact that Palou's plan was, hey, let's just get rid of the other reds. And the team said, no, we got some time to make up. We're going for results here. They're not just cruising around. As we brought on board now with the Sirius XM on board Felix Rosenquist. Diplo's Revolution on the side of the car. Diplo in attendance today.
This guy's having one strong day, potentially on pace for his best result of the season. The team started things off really strong on the street and road courses, but on the oval today here in Nashville, along with his teammate David Malukas, they are right in the mix.
Georgia, tell us more.
All of these cars did not get much practice yesterday, but Felix Rosenquist especially, because he had an issue, a mechanical issue in practice one, only turned 18 laps there, then rebounded, qualified third, and I talked to Adam Robanzini about it. He said, we just rolled off the truck really well, and right now we're in a position, we know Felix is coming back, we have nothing to lose today. Do everything we can to get a top 10, and if we're in a spot to get that top 10, we might even do something risky on strategy, so expect that 60 to be very aggressive today, Dave.
Pole sitter Kyle Kirkwood comes to pit road. Team communications here.
Okay, we're thinking of switching to the other tire for this stop and a turn of front wing. Any feeling?
No front wings, so I get off my toes a little bit.
Both tires are holding in pretty well.
There you can see that switch to the alternates. They were given the information. The team went with the call. You see the wing change there for balance.
Could have sworn the driver just said no front wing. Let me come off my tools a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it was only on one side of the car that adjustment got made.
Hopefully he saw that. It's usually pretty easy for the driver to notice, but either way, Kyle Kirkwood will have to do the job in the cockpit to make the adjustments as the caution is out for the first time. And oh no, we just talked about Rosenquist.
Fresh off a contract extension, 2 more years at least with MSR. We see the 11 of Armstrong made it to pit lane before the yellow was thrown. That is crucial. You don't want to be in pit lane. Hopefully he can get in and out before the pace car comes around to lose a second lap. But what a bummer.
Well, really, the cars with the advantage are the one that hung on. Newgarden, Herta, Malukas, etc., staying out so that if this happened, they could pit under caution. And you have to think that Rosenquist just got a little high onto the dirty part of the racetrack as the AMR safety team, as they have all season long, right there to support Rosenquist. Let's watch.
Let's pit now, tire blue.
Right front tire went down.
Wow.
Clear down.
You heard him say, let's pit now, something with the left front tire.
I think it was the right front, James, was going down. I believe he cut a right front tire.
See the sparks from the rear that tells you that something has gone amiss.
Well, hang on. Is that a tire, or is that potentially what we saw with Kyle Kirkwood last night in practice, which was a rocker post that failed? I think he said tire. It looked like tire.
And it probably feels like that, right? That you just know that the balance of your car has massively shifted and something has dropped.
Well, the difference between a cut tire and a broken suspension on the right front probably feels similar.
Dave, does anybody have any fuel concerns here that has not stopped?
Yeah, some need Shell fuel worse than others, and one of those is Colton Herta. His strategist Rob Edwards just radioed in. Max save. It's going to be close. They believe that Newgarden's in the same situation.
11 cars have not pitted yet. Actually, 10, according to our timing and score. No, 11. Jack Harvey is 13. So, yeah, 11 cars have not pitted at this point, including the top 10 in the race.
Now, on paper, this is very bad for the Kyle Kirkwoods of the world, who was leading this race but was trapped a lap down because of the caution. You know, you see 57 laps completed. A flat-out stint is only about 50 or 52 laps. As we see Kirkwood now reorganizing himself.
Let's take a look again with Rosenquist. Did the right front go down? It looks, yeah, it did.
Yeah.
The sidewall's compromised there.
Yeah, passenger.
The good news is that it's not, it doesn't appear that that's the issue that Kyle Kirkwood had. But it's highly unusual to cut a tire like that, especially without any crashes to start this race, and presumably a clean racetrack in terms of any hard debris.
You never know if there was some kind of contact at some point beforehand in terms of, you know, wheel to wheel or side to side with some of the racing that was happening earlier.
He tried everything. He was on the radio. He knew he was coming to the box right away, but he had no chance to keep it out of the fence.
And once it goes, yeah, there's nothing the driver can do.
What a shame for Felix Rosenquist, who has been a revelation for that team. He has helped Andretti Global through that partnership. By the way, ends. Meyershank Racing will be associated with Chip Ganassi Racing next year. But Rosenqvist has been quick, and he's not going to be single much longer. He'll be married very, very soon. Congratulations to Felix and Emil.
I think it's next weekend. I think it's straight on a plane to Sweden.
A few drivers told me that's what their immediate postseason plans are.
Exactly
going to Felix's wedding.
But no, this is crucial, guys. I mean, you heard it from Rob Edwards. The fuel save required right now. This is nerve-wracking moments for these drivers and teams. They got to get there, wait for the pits to be open, and then we talked about a team sport off the top of the show, guys. This is when the men and women in pit lane are going to earn their money. Yellow flag stops, all to play for. Big gains for guys like Rossi and Grosjean, who were able to just hang on there and stay out. Big losses for the Kirkwoods and Armstrongs of the world. As we see the leaders now come to pit lane, you see Kirkwood staying out to get that wave around in his lap back. But let's go down, Dave, to pit lane to watch the battle.
So far, fire in the belly still for the car in the middle there. That second place, Colton Herta, his crew will go to work here. They are going to go to... Sorry, I had it a second ago. They're going to go to the alternates here, Georgia.
Absolutely. David Malukas along one of those. He's going to another set of primaries. Joseph Newgarden amongst those on pit lane. He wants to be the first off of this. He said we're pretty set up well for Reds. They went to those alternates. Here he goes.
And Joseph Newgarden will just barely win the race off pit lane. Colton Herta in second. By the way, if Herta finishes second, he would finish second in the championship. Here's Scott McLaughlin releasing up front. Alexander Rossi, Nolan Siegel, and plenty more. We got a restart coming up on the Banked Oval outside Nashville, Tennessee. You're watching NBC's coverage of IndyCar, brought to you by Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers, presenting sponsor of the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. Enjoy responsibly. And by Elf, the beauty company that stands with every eye, lip, and face. It's the season finale from Nashville, Tennessee, the Nashville Superspeedway. Kevin Lee Townsend-Bell, James Hinchcliffe, Georgia Henneberry, Dave Burns. We came in with the championship separated by 33 points. Points as they run. When the race started, Will Power starting fourth. It was 7. That was the lead for Alex Blow, and then this happened on lap 12.
I have to pin. My belt has come off.
Totally fluke situation. Will Power with a loose lap belt. The crew members go to work, but despite being the fastest pit stops team all season, there is no way to rush a seatbelt reconnect. They lost 5 laps.
And championship over. Alex Palou is going to be a 3-time champion at the age of 27 years old. Who will finish second in the championship right now, points as they run? It's Colton Herta. Power could slip to 4th. Scott McLaughlin could move up a spot.
But what that graphic's not showing you is that in 3rd place as they run is Scott McLaughlin, only 1 point behind Colton Herta. So the race is on right now in those top 3 spots, and it does matter. Dex imaging on board for McLaughlin. Both these guys chasing each other for that last realistic place in the championship, Dave.
I like that. So, Hinch, what is your mindset now if you're Palou? You're a lap down. You've been told who around you is also a lap down, and you are racing them. But you want to get back on the lead lap at some point.
Yeah, you're going hammer down. I mean, these guys basically have nothing to lose. They don't have to worry about driving around to finish in a certain position to lock the championship. You know, look, could Will Power get 4 laps back and drive up to the front and win the race? I mean, it's possible. It's very unlikely. So when we say it's a lock on the championship, we mean in all realistic scenarios it is.
I do remember Tony Kanaan at Texas Motor Speedway getting 3 or 4 laps back. That was fighting for a win, but that was a different type of race.
We had mandatory yellows on that race because of a tire situation, so that does not count. And that is, to this day, still a complete mess up on race control's part.
Why do you have to spoil a good story with facts, with cold, hard facts?
You're right. I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
I'll tell you what, guys. Colton Herta has a lot to be excited about. Second on the racetrack right now, and second as they run in the championship.
A couple Nashville boys fighting for glory here in the hometown.
Newgarden and Herta.
Look at Marcus Ericsson up there running in 4th. Linus Lundqvist as well. Kyle Kirkwood was certainly disadvantaged the most. He was controlling led the first 53 laps of this race, but had already stopped. So those who had not picked up track position. So Kirkwood, we know the car is great. Let's watch him from 10th.
Top 3 cars on the softer red tire. They're fresh.
How does Joseph Newgarden handle this restart? What's the pace going to be? Ready to go green again in Nashville Superspeedway. Battle seems to be best for second right there. Keep an eye on Malukas going side by side for Herta. Malukas on the low side, trying to get to second.
That racetrack still looks pretty dirty to the high side. Herta is flirting with that dirty edge of the groove, but he's making it work.
Big defensive move from Ericsson down in the background on Lundqvist. Ericsson on those primaries, Lundqvist on the alternates. He's got the grip. As we see McLaughlin working the high side as well behind.
Herta prevails. He maintains second. Malukas is still there. Remember how fast he's been on all those 3 wide almost for a moment, a little further back. It is still 2 wide.
Santino Ferrucci trying to get involved in this Ericsson-Lundqvist battle as there's a fight for the lead into 3. Herta on the outside of Newgarden.
Can he make it stick there? The 2 Nashville neighbors fighting for the lead.
Sorry, Kevin. Colton sliding right up towards the wall. He starts to tuck in. He's got to make it work to the high side right now, or else that groove is going to single up fast. I think Colton realizes that.
You can see it from the Estemo onboard as the number 26 sort of floats up the racetrack in the dirty air of Newgarden in front. When you follow right behind an IndyCar on an oval at these speeds, there's no grip there as Kirkwood making moves on Nolan Siegel. Siegel right now 2 laps down, not for position. Kirkwood trying to claw back the track position that he lost during that pit stop, and the yellow. Auto Nation providing these pictures as he chases down Romain Grosjean in front of him.
So Newgarden prevails in this battle. Herta had to hold off Malukas first. Ericsson still 4th, then Lundqvist, Ferrucci, McLaughlin, Rossi, Grosjean, Kirkwood has not made up any ground since the restart. The pole sitter had led the first 53 laps.
So Marcus Ericsson, the only car there in the top 6 on the harder black tire right now, but he also started, James, on the hard compound. So he might have an advantage on this stint as we ride on board with Delaware Life, but later on in the race, if he has to go long on the reds, it might be a challenge.
And here's part of the potential reasoning for that. We think that the reds are wearing a little bit more, a little bit faster, as 27, now 26 Indy cars circulate around this concrete oval. Every lap, more Firestone rubber is going down onto the surface, getting laid down as Herta lines up another run here on Newgarden.
Here we go to the high side. Black, yellow, and white car, the Gamebridge Honda of Colton Herta. It's the Chevy Estemo. Team Penske out in front, and again, Newgarden can hold him off. Herta can get there, but he can't finish it.
You can tell that Colton Herta knows full well the track is a lot different now than it was 4 laps ago when it was cleaned up for the restart. What does he do this time?
On the charge, using the draft, looks inside, has the lift out of it.
And Joseph Newgarden knows that all he has to do is protect the bottom. If Colton wants to go for it, he's going to have to take a big risk to the outside where the marbles are already forming.
And going 3 laps in a row to the high side, Colton was trying to dummy Newgarden into fading out driver's right a little bit, open that door to the inside, but Joseph Newgarden hasn't won 10 of the last 15 ovals or whatever it is because he's used to getting dummied.
You got to think Newgarden's just kind of laughing in his helmet like, hey, kid, I've been doing this a little bit longer than you have. I'm not falling for that one.
I don't think he's laughing. Colton is definitely making him sweat right now. This is not easy for Newgarden, but he's doing a great job driving defensively. At this stage of a race, when you're leading like that, you're almost trying to drive the car behind you as well. You're using your mirrors, you're using your spotter. You're almost trying to manipulate the track position to figure out where you want the 26 to be and put your car in a position to make him go where you want him to.
The other thing that Newgarden's doing there is sliding up a little early corner exit. What that does is kind of takes the air off Colton Herta's front wing a little earlier in the corner, preventing Colton from getting those straightaway runs.
We'll keep an eye on this battle as Herta tries to keep within pace and challenge Joseph Newgarden. Another contender early in this race. Georgia, unfortunately, is out.
Right about that. Felix Rosenquist has been released from the IndyCar medical unit. First and foremost, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah, tire just blew up. So it felt fine, and then all of a sudden it just started feeling weird, and I told the team on the radio coming in, and literally, as I said, they just deflated, and yeah, I was just a passenger into the wall. So unfortunate, but like another thing we couldn't really, predict or help. It was just there. We're just a passenger. So yeah, super good race until then. Running third. Now David is third, so hopefully he can pick up where we left.
We're going to play a replay for you. Can you walk us through it?
Sorry?
We're going to play a replay for you. Can you walk us through it?
Yeah. So yeah, right here I feel the car is weird on the front. I'm calling in the team that I'm coming in, and right there it just stops. Basically the tire is deflated. It went off the wheel essentially. So yeah, it sucks when it happens here, especially at those speeds. Luckily it wasn't a very big hit, and the walls keeps us safe in the car as well. But I just bummed for the team. I think they did a brilliant job all weekend and all season really. It's just kind of been a summer of our year, I say. A lot of good performances with little payouts. So we'll come back stronger next year.
Thank you, Felix. Back stronger next year.
Yeah, the pace has been there. Now looking for results next season. It's two Nashville residents up front. Joseph Newgarden, Colton Herta, and young David Malukas is chasing in the season finale for IndyCar. Help fight hunger. Race fans can join Hy-Vee and help reach their goal of 100 million meals during the 100 Million Meals Challenge. Scan the QR code to donate or check out Hy-Vee.com. We ride the Hy-Vee on board with the number 45 of Christian Lundgaard, who's had 3 very successful seasons with Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan. That's one of the other finales. He's moving on to Arrow McLaren. And we see Catherine Legg going around and rolling through the grass, and the second caution has come out.
Off of turn 4, driver of the 51 for Dale Coyne Racing got high, did a great job to get it down and get it wound up.
Catherine had been running 3 laps down to the field, and I don't know if somebody might have put a move on her to the inside of the turns 3 and 4 and left her kind of hung out up high. I understand maybe Pietro Fittipaldi was to the inside. Let's take another look. Indeed, the 5-hour car, watch him make a move here.
Down low, nice and early.
Nothing wrong with that. Then he slides up and takes the air off of Catherine's front wing, and then she's up into the dirt, dust, and tire debris. Didn't hit that hard, seemingly. On board here with Will Power.
Yeah, it's almost like it ripped the wheel out of her hand or got off the wheel.
I think she might have just released her hands to protect her wrists as she's out of the car.
Yeah, I mean, the initial move from Pietro, totally fine, had the inside line going into 3, but to your point, Townsend, kind of moved up mid-track.
Well, I don't think it was intentional. I think it was just the natural slide, the slide job, if you will, in terms of the car drifting up, and then I think Catherine was a bit caught out. Pietro Fittipaldi showing 1 lap down right now. He pitted at the tail end of that last caution.
So 30 laps since most of the leaders pit last. You got to think on a tire race, a lot of people are going to come to pit lane given this opportunity.
I don't know if you want to give up track position today, James, as much as stretch things until the next window opens for those leaders, which is about lap 110 to 120, as we take a look at another battle that's been going on all year long, and that's to finish in the top 22 in points, Kevin, and it's tight at the cut line.
This is essentially the revenue sharing program that many other sports have. Top 22 receive about $1 million in entrant points, and this is as they run. It was separated by 1 point coming into today between the 41 and the 20, which has had a couple of different drivers. But the 30, those Pietro Fittipaldi positions are very important. Connor Daly's got the 78 in good shape, and David Malukas did the same for the 66.
But guys, you're looking at 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, all separated by a single point. They're also all on track, running in 18th, 19th, and 20th position as the leaders have come to pit lane. It's going to be busy down here. You see Herta going into his stop.
Keep an eye on the Gamebridge car there first, rolling in near the middle of pit lane. Newgarden and others are going to be a little further up. They are going to the alternates, a front wing adjustment again for Colton Herta. He gets out with Alex Palou, the championship, soon-to-be champion, right in front of him. Here's Newgarden at pit exit. Can he win the race off pit lane one more time? Yes, he can. David Malukas gets out first. Ericsson picked up a spot. Herta lost a couple.
And they didn't need to take full fuel, so it really becomes a battle with the tire changers. And once again, Team Penske getting the job done. Newgarden easily leads to the line.
So another restart coming up in just a moment. This time it will be David Malukas chasing Joseph Newgarden, and Alexander Rossi did not miss.
The flags go up.
Back to Music City Grand Prix. Brought to you by Big Machine, the Nashville Superspeedway. Thanks for joining us today. We've got another restart coming up in just a moment. The Rookie of the Year already decided. Linus Lundqvist running 7th in this race with the American Legion Be The One livery, and they've had a fantastic mission for the last several years. Be The One is literally saving the lives of veterans at risk of suicide. Just last month, the American Legion trained more than 5,000 people at one time, the largest single suicide prevention training session ever. The Legion has more, though. Virtual and in-person training sessions will continue throughout September's Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Chip Ganassi Racing is very much involved, so join the mission to end veteran suicide. Visit BeTheOne.org. Different kind of scenario, but this made the social media rounds here in Nashville, Tennessee a few days ago. John Bon Jovi, who was on the grid at St. Petersburg, surveillance cameras, if you will, caught him talking someone literally off the ledge that he came across on the bridge. That IndyCar was part of the backdrop.
Ironically,
years.
Bon Jovi was in the two-seater to start our season in St. Pete, and I really loved that sweet moment where he leaned in to help somebody else out. One of my favorite quotes of all time: I kept waiting for somebody to do something, and then I realized that I am somebody. And Bon Jovi took initiative in that moment, and encourage all of you to think the same when you're out there.
Let's talk about one of the other Ganassi cars. Dave.
So Herta was held up a little bit on pit lane because lap down, Alex Palou decided to pit there, which is legal. Here's what Palou was told.
All right, the reason we did that is because if either of those two guys stayed out there with lead lap cars, we would not get our lap back and get a wave around. So this gave us the opportunity to be an early pitter for the guys that are on our lap.
And one of those cars was Alex Rossi, so that's the reason why Herta was held up just a little bit by Palou pitting.
And now Rossi's going to be restarting up front on 35, 37 lap old primaries with a host of cars fresh off of pit lane on reds. You can see from the mission camera a very anxious Scott Dixon immediately behind him. Dixon, the first car a lap down, so he's got a bit of a buffer, but it's going to be tough for Rossi to hang on up front with these used primaries.
Another finale, Alexander Rossi. That's one of the questions. Where is he going next year? He's not returning to Arrow McLaren. He's also only won once in the last 5 years. Could he send it out in style? Going back to green at the Nashville Superspeedway. You've got lap traffic in the mix to sort things out. That is Scott Dixon right behind him, second in line, but he's not on the lead lap.
But it's David Malukas trying to make the move on Joseph Newgarden for the first driver on that strategy. Rossi up front, Dixon not able to make the move. Rinus VeeKay in the black and green car next in line as three wide.
Contact further back. Kiffin Simpson walks his car up the track. Linus Lundqvist is wide. All these cars on fresh tires are feeling hero grip right now.
Three of those four are Ganassi's in that little picture right there, including the soon-to-be champion Alex Palou in the yellow and red car, the DHL car, right there in the mix.
He's going to slot in behind his teammate Marcus Armstrong. Some defensive moves here. Colton Herta side by side with teammate Marcus Ericsson, who got him on that pit exchange. He gets that move done out of 4.
Next car up for Herta is David Malukas, as Newgarden looks to the high side of Rinus VeeKay. How about McLaughlin chewing up Ericsson there into turn 1?
Really forcing the issue down low. Didn't think there was enough car width for him to fit, but Ericsson got snookered a little bit there by McLaughlin.
Scott Dixon is hoping to get his lap back. He is a lap down, but now loses some more track position. That PNC Bank car would love to get in front of Alexander Rossi and get his lap back. The red and white car is Joseph Newgarden, second in the race. And look at the action we saw just a few moments ago.
Kyle Kirkwood there gets down low and drifts up a little bit. And big save from Kiffin Simpson in that Journey car. On board here with Kirkwood.
We're back outside, bottom of 3.
It almost sounded like he wanted to back out of it. He hit the rev limiter, but then Simpson just got caught up, and look how close it was between the three. Little touch there, little bit of tire smoke coming off of the left rear of the blue car of Ericsson.
I'd be a little concerned if I was Marcus Ericsson about my left rear, as Colton Herta now sits right where he was before, behind Joseph Newgarden. We know Rossi needs to pit. Frankly, Rossi wants a yellow at this point. He doesn't want to have to make his stop under green. Meanwhile, everybody that just pitted just needs to get to about lap 150, and they'll be able to make their final stop.
This is fast work that Herta's made. He lost a couple spots on pit lane, had a few lap cars as well, but he's done a great job cutting through the field. Fastest car on track that last time by, dispatching who he needs to get right on the back of the two. As we see another replay here, this is Ferrucci in the black and red machine. Kyle Kirkwood, you are not allowed to go below the yellow line in race conditions. If you're forced there to avoid an accident, you might get away with it. So race control probably looking at that to see, was he forced down there by Kirkwood, or was he trying to use that to his advantage?
Always a little tricky on the tri-oval, as you know, James, because the natural line is to apex at start finish and then fade back up. And I think Ferrucci was expecting Kirkwood to take that natural line and leave an opening. But no guarantees when you're duking it out, because track position.
All right, but we got to let the 27 and the 8 go by for that pass. All right, just let the 27 right behind you go by, and then.
And that's effectively race control leaning in with a mild penalty, which is give up 2 positions for making that move.
That continues to be very dicey in the middle of the field. Meanwhile, let's go back up to the front and take you through the field, brought to you by Honda, and we start with Georgia.
Yeah, it's Alexander Rossi's last race in Papaya. They had a gathering earlier today for him. Cupcake speeches involved, and they sent him off during his last race. Joseph Newgarden looking for a rebound from Milwaukee, but as we know, he has the nickname Oval King for a reason.
Colton Herta running in 3rd position. I asked him to assess this year. He said we really were good on 95% of the tracks, but we needed to get better on the ovals. His performance today proves that they're headed in that direction, Georgia.
David Malukas riding in 4th. He started 5th, trying to clinch his 3rd podium of his IndyCar career. And Scott McLaughlin 18th to 5th right now. He's on a mission to the front in that 33s.
Marcus Ericsson talked to me during the rain delay yesterday afternoon and didn't really know why his car was qualifying in the 15th position. He said the car was set up pretty much like my teammate Colton Herta. I don't know where the handling on the car went. You can see now running up in top 6 position now. Ericsson is where he wants to be. As for the pole sitter, Kyle Kirkwood has gotten some adjustments on that race car. Back in dirty air, not quite as good. He believes, though, that speed in that race car certainly is still there. Wants to get back up front in the clean air.
You're right about that, Dave. Linus Lundqvist rides it, and he's looking to add another good spot, an open seat for next year as well. So he's trying to impress. We don't know what his 2025 is going to look like, but we do know that he clinched the 2024 Rookie of the Year championship. And behind him, Santino Ferrucci, 14th to 9th right now. Obviously, race control probably looking at the move that he just pulled underneath the yellow line. And Marcus Armstrong, Chip Ganassi driver, in the 11, 12th to 10th for Marcus Armstrong right now.
And let's check in on Roman Grosjean. When I saw him on the grid earlier today, running in the 11th position now, he wanted a fist bump. He was pretty positive about how today was going to go. He was all the way up to 9th, lost a couple of positions just recently.
Great job, Dave. Thank you, Georgia. 13 on the lead lap right now. Pato Award right behind Grosjean in 12th. Jack Harvey having a really nice run today in 13th with Dale Coyne Racing. Here's the Juncos Hollinger Racing on board with Ron Grosjean. And check out that display on the aero screen on the top. That is a digital display that is in use this weekend. An aero screen ring by Seamless Digital. So that is a huge advancement in the commercial relationships teams have with their partners.
That's pretty cool. I saw it just popped up food. I don't know if you want to distract your driver necessarily with that message, but
made me hungry.
Made me hungry too, as Grosjean, we understand, will likely be returning to this team next year.
Yeah, there are at least 11, maybe 12 seats that are unconfirmed. We're going to have news. The season may end, but the silly season is in full swing. By the way, the race is official. We're past halfway at the Nashville Superspeedway. You're watching NBC's coverage of IndyCar, brought to you by NTT, official sponsor and technology partner of the NTT IndyCar Series. Liberty Mutual Insurance, only pay for what you need. And by Hy-Vee, this racing season, help Hy-Vee reach their goal of 100 million meals by visiting Hy-Vee.com. It's been a fun weekend in Nashville, Tennessee, and just east of downtown is the Nashville Superspeedway. We haven't been here in a while. Townsend Bell's raced here, finished 5th in an IndyCar race back in the day. IndyCar's raced here from 2001 through 2008 as we ride the Hy-Vee on board with Christian Lundgaard, finishing up his tenure with Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan, a couple of laps down at this moment. Here is a battle for 8th. Former Ganassi teammate Marcus Ericsson, and the driver who took his seat, Linus Lundqvist, the Rookie of the Year, will get that spot up into 7th.
Seems like it's been a really a big struggle, James, for Marcus Ericsson on this stint. I'm not sure if it's balance, perhaps a tire vibration, but something just doesn't look or feel right here. Kind of like he's hanging on until he can get to pit lane again and make some adjustments. And finally, Alexander Rossi comes in, unfortunately under green conditions. He'll almost certainly go down a lap.
The NTT pit stop prediction was spot on that. It had Rossi coming in at 124, and here he is on 125. He's not going to be able to do it, I don't think, just on this stop. Townsend definitely going to have to pit again. So Georgia, this strategy might not have played out the way he wanted.
Yeah, and I did talk to strategist Brian Barnhart about it. He said we were on primaries, so we could go longer than everyone else, but this is going to lead them to make 2 smaller stops on the red tires.
Yeah, 2 shorter stints on the reds. I see the logic to it. They've been the tire that's degrading a little bit more, not as good over a stint, but you've now lost that track position and you still have as many stops to do as the cars around you. He caught a great break on that first yellow going long, as we see the 21 Arenas VK for ECR in the pits, cleaning away. But on the second one, I just don't think it's really played out the way they were hoping.
VK started 10th today. He's been racy, always exciting on the ovals. Here's the mission on board. Rossi.
Connor Daly out the back, having a look, but Rossi now on those softer, fresh red tires and trying to claw back through the field, see if he can get himself back on the lead lap.
Daly, one of those drivers that hit early in that first stint, got hurt by the first yellow. Pato O'Ward in the same boat, but able to stay on the lead lap, running 11th right now, just trying to make some steady progress through the field.
And this is, I think, the point for the top 10 cars where they start to think about when they're going to make their last stop. Are they going to try to undercut and pit on the earlier side, or hang out and hope that they can make their last stop under caution?
So now with Rossi making his stop, Joseph Newgarden, the Nashville native, is back out in front here at the Nashville Superspeedway, but it may not be all comfy right now, Georgia.
Kevin, you're right about that. Joseph Newgarden in control of this race, but let's hear what he has to say about the 2.
Right sideways. Might not want to follow this close. Starting to pick up a little bit of vibration on the right rear. Yeah, I'm feeling it.
As you heard right there, Joseph said, yeah, he was feeling it. This has actually been a trend through a majority of this race, so dealing with the vibration on the rear end of that car.
Pretty impressive, because usually it's the driver reporting the vibration to the team. In this case, that relationship, and Tim Cindric's been doing this at high level for so long, they clearly can see in their data the harmonic of a vibration, and impressive the level of sensitivity and the kind of communication chemistry between these two as Newgarden continues to circulate. And what they're doing is just trying to manage that right rear tire, keep it in a window where they're not sliding it too much, make sure that the car doesn't go too out of balance front to rear on grip. And Newgarden doing a great job.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he ran in that dirty air of Alex Rossi for a while there. Rossi doing a good job on the older primaries to not get passed by Newgarden on fresh alternates.
That was like Connor Daly going around his teammate Romain Grosjean, but Daly a lap down, and this allows Pato O'Ward to have a run as Pato's left front drops over the yellow line there on the tri-oval, and that puts Pato O'Ward into 10th.
Hey, take a peek at points as they run. The championship is not officially decided, but Palou is going to get there. But this battle for second is interesting. And Scott McLaughlin, I know, was thinking championship was realistic coming in, but finishing second would be a huge deal for him, and the progression as McLaughlin is trying to hang on to it, and he's going to lose positions, but he keeps it out of the wall to continue to fight on. The point was, he's finished 4th, 3rd. If he could finish second in the championship this year, that'd be a nice progression.
And look at how slow McLaughlin has to go through turns 3 and 4. It's simply because he has dirt and debris on his tires. Now he'll be almost back up to speed if he can hold off Rinus VeeKay, who jams it up in there.
I mean, Scott realizing he's got to be
clean. We're fine here. Just reset yourself.
Yeah, he's got to be smart there and just take that low line until he gets those tires clean and gets comfortable. Again, Rinus VeeKay is not a car that he's racing. That car's 2 laps down at the moment. Let him go.
Man, that was close. I mean, that's the kind of situation where Marcus Ericsson into the wall.
Caution flag is out.
Guys, I checked with the team to see if he was struggling with anything just moments ago, and they told me we just know that we need to go a long way on this set of alternate tires. I don't know if he was babying the car a little bit. I don't know what happened right there.
Classic Nashville situation, I think. You get a little bit high like McLaughlin just did.
That was his first set of alternates. He started on primaries. First stop went to the primaries, but this set of alternates has just not been good. The balance didn't look great. He was losing track position. We saw him really fighting the front end of that car.
I wonder if it was a situation like what we saw earlier with Catherine Legge, where you're just trying to hang on and you get past, pushed a little high mid-corner, but he just ran out of road to save it.
Through the magic of television and onboard cameras, hopefully we'll be able to get a second look there of what happened. You see the damage though, the right rear flexing in and out, the toe link essentially controls the direction of the tire. Let's take a look.
So nobody up the inside. Ericsson just gets the slightest bit high mid-corner, and he's able to keep it out of the wall on the previous lap. But just like McLaughlin, he's got the dirty tire situation.
And big wiggle. I mean, he was a little bit high on entry anyway. That had the wiggle correction, and that was the difference. It just pushed the car that extra car width up. And there's just nothing you can do as a driver skating up the racetrack. You're trying to get off the pedals, keep the platform stable. As the team now goes to work on the right side of that race car to repair any parts. You see the spare suspension pieces being pulled out in the right rear there.
One of the issues on the right front, I think, is that the hub can get mushroomed. And it looks like they're fixing on that along with the steering arm. Now, lap 137, probably in range to make it home. It's got 206, so it's 69 laps to the finish. You'd have to save some fuel, but if you're somebody that's already satisfied the red tire requirement and you can finish on blacks, ooh, this is an interesting situation.
I think we could see a split here.
Absolutely.
Got on board the fifth third bank machine, Graham Rahal. He's having a tough day, 3 laps down.
But James, we've had 3 cautions.
Yes.
So if you get it done now,
there's
and
a
you
chance.
get one more caution, you're in really good shape. But how do the leaders play this? I bet there's a lot of conversation on the radio right now on exactly how far they can go, what the balance is like. Dave, what do you hear on pit lane?
So Colton Herta will pit out of the second position, and they talked about you're going to have to do what we did to start the race, which was be on primaries, and they almost sound a little bit resigned to the fact that they had to go on primaries, Townsend. I don't know why that would be. I don't think they think that's not the good tire, but there they are waiting to put on the primary tires coming down pit road this time. Balance is good on the 26. Colton just needs to know how to get home from here.
So there's the call. I mean, you come in.
Dual tires, no changes.
Looks like everybody's coming.
Let's go a half turn out just based off the ball. Okay.
A half turn of front wing out is the call from the pilot of the 26. And here they come down to pit lane. It's going to take a big savings. And Dave, they're coming to you.
Let's switch over to his teammate. Let's look at Colton Herta again there in the middle of the screen. He is going to go from those alternates to the primaries, and this will just be where the crew needs to be efficient on time. Get him back out, Georgia.
David Malukas third on this pit stop. He's going from the reds to the primaries. A little bit of understeer, but other than that, happy. Joseph Newgarden also coming in. He's going to go to the primaries. Remember, he's had that vibration, but when he asked if he wanted any changes, he said leave it, down and away.
No problem for Team Penske. They win that race off pit lane.
But it's David Malukas getting the better of Colton Herta once again. Herta losing time in pit lane. But it's setting up for a nice restart coming up.
So who stayed out? What's the race going to be like on the restart? We'll find out next in Nashville. You're watching NBC's coverage of IndyCar, brought to you by Lucas Oil, the leader of high-performance lubricants and problem-solving additives. Hy-Vee, this racing season, help Hy-Vee reach their goal of 100 million meals by visiting Hy-Vee.com. And by NTT, official sponsor and technology partner of the NTT IndyCar Series. It's the season finale. Nashville Superspeedway. Great work by Scott Borchetta in his group with Big Machine label group. It's the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. We've seen the lead cars make stops. Here is the soon-to-be champion for the third time in 4 years, Alex Palou, who's not on the lead lap, can simply enjoy the drive today. Remember, he had an engine penalty, was starting in 24th, but Will Power, who started 4th, had an issue with his seat belts. Came unbuckled on lap 12, had to pit, was 5 laps down, still runs 4 laps down. Mathematically, it's not official, but we're trying to be honest with you. Alex Palou is going to win the championship today. Palou is in charge. Power could get laps back, but at this point, he's got to win the race, and that's not going to happen. So we're looking at 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and beyond.
Difficult day for Will Power.
My belt has come off.
Seat belt is loose. What a crazy last 2 races for Will Power. Loses 5 laps to get that belt reconnected. And he was down and out early.
It was all there. Alex Palou had the mechanical at the start of the 2nd race. Milwaukee at 1 point points as they run. He was the championship leader. Palou doesn't qualify yesterday, has an engine penalty, points as they run going into this race. Oh, by the way, last week he spun when been giving that gift. Cut into the points lead, but not as much as he wanted or could have. So unfortunately, Power is going to come up short once again. Still 2-time champion. He's won the Indy 500 and still is very much on the top of his game. Here's the PNC Bank on board with the 6-time champ. Not going to be 7 this year for Scott Dixon, but
well, Dixon's 2 laps down here, but Pato O'Ward in front is the leader, but he did not pit. He's back on the lead lap, but he's trying to do what Alexander Rossi, his teammate, did earlier. We'll have to watch Joseph Newgarden, and Alex Palou is now back on the lead lap by virtue of the wave around. Here they come.
And Newgarden is 3rd in line, but 2nd in the race in that red and white car. Back up to speed. Pato O'Ward on a different strategy. The others, can they make it home? Little battle further back. Colton Herta has been fast in that white, yellow, and black car, trying to move forward, and he's got side-by-side action in front of him. Kyle Kirkwood still on the attack, too, as we ride the game bridge on board and look up at Newgarden.
David Malukas passed Joseph Newgarden in turn 2, pushed him up a little high, and Newgarden is paying the price, falling back a couple spots, but watch Malukas making a move on Dixon.
And I think that was a radio message from Newgarden. Slight vibration on this set. Dixon on board now, side by side with Malukas. He said Dixon laps down, but Malukas hanging it out up on the high line.
Well, for the cars that just pitted, David Malukas is the leader on that strategy. And if he clears Dixon, that's going to give him a little bit of breathing room to Colton Herta. David Malukas could be on his way to his first ever Oval and IndyCar win as Herta gets high there.
Scott Dixon doing a great job of knowing that Herta was coming, had the momentum, stayed low, gave the lead lap car the space there. Big props to Scott Dixon for some heads-up driving there as he's trying to hang on to this number 9 machine.
So what's Pato O'Ward want to have happen right now? He leads the race, but he last stopped on lap 92, while the others behind him all stopped just a few laps ago.
Well, he either wants to go so fast that he can lap the field before his lap stop under green, or he's going to hope for a yellow. But I think this is the battle for the win right here. Colton Herta and David Malukas. Sister programs, Meyer Shank versus Andretti. Malukas goes low, Herta to the high side.
Herta driving it really deep in, and he's hanging in there mid-corner. He's going to have a better run coming off. Crossover now to the inside.
Herta is the veteran, but he's only 24 years old, and he's going to move past the 22-year-old from Chicago. Colton Herta may have the effective lead of the race.
That was brilliant stuff, Kevin. Getting to the high side in turn 2 and having the draft at just the right time.
Yeah, he played that one absolutely perfectly. Nothing Malukas could do to respond to that one. Great piece of driving from a kid that's trying to get his first ever oval win here today.
Lucas was in play for that in St. Louis, the Worldwide Technology Raceway. Racing for the effective lead, came together with Will Power and was into the wall. Alex Palou cruising along, championship leader. He's on the lead lap again. Nothing to lose.
I think this
you never know.
Fun to watch, guys, because the pressure is off, as you pointed out, Kevin. And maybe for the first time all season, this is Alex Palou throwing caution to the wind with a fast race car and just going to go have some fun. And ironically, he finds himself coming up on Will Power, who's still 4 laps down.
Verizon on board looking back at the championship leader. What could have been had that seatbelt issue not been there at the start of this race. But right now, the battle championship-wise is for second place. McLaughlin, Herta, and Power, though he's 4 laps down, is still in it. Every time a car goes out, he is gaining ground on the other two. Should they falter at all, as Palou easily clears him now. Power doing the right thing to get out of the way.
And there you see the top 10 cars, thanks to Firestone, all running on the harder tire to finish this thing. Jack Harvey's having a great day as Palou looks to make a move.
Here's Scott McLaughlin with Kyle Kirkwood, who started on the pole. You know he's fast. He lost track position, though, when the caution came out at the wrong time for him. Don't count out Kyle Kirkwood at this point. Pato O'Ward right now in front in Nashville.
And welcome back to coverage of the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. Pato O'Ward makes his final pit stop. Primaries to red Firestones and filling it up with Shell fuel. We'll see where he blends back in.
Thank you, Georgia. So he's the one that does not have to worry about fuel. Others likely do. You're watching NBC's coverage of IndyCar, brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, the official banking partner of RLL Racing. This is banking a Fifth Third better. Thanks for joining us today, as we've had a lot going on here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Now, after Pato O'Ward gives up the lead, there was no way he could make it. The question is, can Colton Herta, the new leader, Nashville resident, can he make it home? We know some others are saving fuel. Is Herta going full go, saying, I don't think anybody can make it right now, so I'm just going to run fast and assume everybody needs to stop.
Well, let's listen to what the driver of the Cambridge car is doing with that throttle pedal over a lap here to see.
I can tell you, wide open. Yes. Wide open. Colton Herta's going for it. I think they can make it. Dave, you've been covering Colton Herta down there. What are they telling him on the radio?
Well, the first thing he wanted to know was on this run, and you drivers want to know immediately start of the run, what do I have to do? Save fuel, save the tires, what's the deal? And Rob Edwards wouldn't tell him for a while. He waited a few laps, and then this happened.
Am I saving tires or not? Give me one more lap, I'll let you know. Right front to 245, I need an answer. Copy. Okay. Keep doing what we're doing. We need to save the tires, that's all. Copy.
So what do you think, T-Bell? Are they talking about fuel or are they talking about tires?
They're talking about tire temperature. Colton Herta reporting his live tire temp on the right front. But in terms of stint length, it really depends on where the lap traffic is on speed and how urgently Colton Herta thinks he needs to get by. But James, it doesn't sound like he's breathing it at all.
It really doesn't. And I mean, you've got to save a little bit of fuel in order to make that number work. But how impressive is it that Colton Herta, while lapping a 1.3-mile oval at 200 miles an hour on his dash, is keeping track of the live tire temperatures, knows what thresholds they need to be in, is reporting that back to the team, getting that information. That's the kind of mastery of racing you need to have to be running up front in a series this competitive.
And let's keep riding here, because these are the kind of passes Colton Herta's going to want to make. A nice run off the corner and then get low early. Own the bottom, don't get stuck out high. That's the priority, to keep it clean and stay up front.
Decisive moves in traffic. We saw this out of him last night in the group running. He was the most comfortable cutting through cars, and now he's got a 5-second gap to David Malukas. Kirkwood has made his way up to P3, and it's Newgarden who's fallen. He's down to 6th place now behind Ferrucci in 5th.
The Fifth Third Bank on board gives us a good look at the race leader, the Gamebridge car of Colton Herta, breezing by him to put Rahal another lap down. Alex Palou, by the way, is the next target.
Oh boy, this is the kind of stuff that could lead to another yellow. Roman Grosjean really getting close to Stingray Robb as Connor Daly follows his teammate through. Here comes Palou now.
And for Stingray Robb, there's $1 million for AJ Foyt Racing on the line, because he is right there. The 41 entry with the number 20 of Ed Carpenter Racing. They came in separated by 1 point, with the 30 also in play there for the final leader circle spot. This is how they stand at the moment. So the 41 on the outside in, he's going to have to move forward or hope that something goes wrong for Fittipaldi or for Rasmussen.
And Kevin, he's going to have to dig even deeper, because he got food poisoning overnight. Talked to his manager, Philip, who is his roommate on the road. He said he was up all night long, got here this morning, took on 3 bags of fuel. Stingray is gutting it out, trying to keep that $1 million in focus.
Oh, boy.
And that move from Grosjean, that was for position. Both those drivers on the same lap, so it's looking worse and worse for the 41 and Stingray Robb.
Okay. How patient can Colton Herta be here? Now he's in the meat of the slower cars, looking for those easy runs. This one's not, I was going to say that's not good enough, but Colton decides at the last second to fire it inside as we ride with Firestone telemetry. Maybe we'll get a chance to see how he uses the hybrid system. He's at 49% across the line. Off throttle, he gets a recharge.
I'll tell you what's tough to do is take care of that right front in dirty air. He doesn't have to push. He's got a nice buffer to Kyle Kirkwood, who's now gotten past David Malukas to have an Andretti Global 1-2 on the charts right now, but he is still trying to get through this traffic, keeping his eye on the tire temperature for that right front. Right now, he is absolutely controlling this thing.
You just saw him go by Will Power. That puts Power back 5 laps down, who came in second in the championship. Herta is hooked up right now. That's going by Stingray Robb.
I'll tell you who's coming quickly is his teammate Kyle Kirkwood, also hungry for his first oval win. Remember, the teammates finished 1-2 at Toronto. It was Kyle Kirkwood kind of protecting. I'm not sure if Kirkwood is happy to just sit back and finish second. He gets Scott Dixon, but Kirkwood closing quickly.
Powered by NTT, you can see the last 3 lap speeds, a massive advantage there to Kyle Kirkwood, as Herta has been getting all this traffic he's had to deal with. Kyle's got to get through it now himself, but he has been looking very racy since this last stop.
This is our last commercial break. We will then take you to the checkers, find out who wins the finale and the championship in Nashville. You're watching NBC's coverage of IndyCar, brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, the official banking partner of RLL Racing. This is banking a Fifth Third better. And by Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers, presenting sponsor of the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. Enjoy responsibly. Kevin Lee, Townsend Bell, James Hinchcliffe at the Nashville Superspeedway. Our aerial coverage is brought to you by Honda. Oh, it's been so fun finishing the season on ovals. The racing, 3 weekends in a row, has been really entertaining. And look at the Penske side by side. The Bus Bros are mixing it up right now. McLaughlin low side. Newgarden on the high side. They're racing for a 10th right now, and McLaughlin is through.
Massive save from Scott McLaughlin on the inside. He hit that bump, James, over in turn 4, and that could have taken out both Penske drivers in one corner.
Oh, that was so close to being a huge disaster for the only 2 Penske cars really in the race up front here. That was an incredible save from Scott McLaughlin. Heart in the throat moment as he and his teammate were battling so hard. Let's take a look again from the outside. A little leaning on each other going into 3. Oh, and they rub going in. I mean, Joseph running him real low. Wow. That's the risk. I mean, thank God he had that control. Oh, there's the car right in front of McLaughlin. He got blocked in there by a lapped car. And now they split Jack Harvey.
What a battle. I am so impressed that Newgarden's able to stay too wide at both ends of the racetrack.
This is incredible. Still
watch
now.
Watch the hands. Watch the red gloves from McLaughlin.
We're a full lap into this battle. Another big save. 2 in a row. So it was contact going into 3 on this lap. Using the draft from Jack Harvey. Use him as a pick. Wow. Just incredible racing from both these drivers.
Remember what I said? It's been kind of fun finishing on ovals. And by the way, the fans have reacted. The fans have been coming out. Great crowds in Milwaukee 2 weeks ago. Here in Nashville as well, as they continue to try to grow this event.
Great save. Great hard racing from both drivers. Very professional. Running each other hard, but running each other fair. And that's the kind of thing you want to see with 18 laps to go in the season.
Now, meanwhile, we've had a development. There were some we wondered if they were trying to save to get to the finish. Most have already bailed on that strategy. The top 3 have not pitted recently. We don't think they can make it. We think Pato O'Ward in 4th is someone who can make it home.
I don't know. I mean, 17 laps to go. This is Pato O'Ward currently shown in 4th. But how much fuel has Alex Palou quietly been saving, you know, back in traffic on this final stint? Now 16 laps to go. We think he'll have to pit along with Malukas and Kirkwood, but he stays out.
Well, the first that does not have to pit is Colton Herta, who came in just a moment ago. He last stopped on 180. Dave.
Kevin, here is the story with Alex Palou. Just checked with Barry Wanza, the strategist. He stayed 4 laps longer, pitted 4 laps later, but they will still have to come for a final splash of Shell fuel.
Unless there's a big caution, guys, and with this kind of racing this late in the day, anything is possible.
Always right around the corner here in Nashville, especially the aggression. Remember, there's 15 laps to go on the season. So for drivers that are frustrated, for teams that are trying to make leader circle, it is now time to throw caution to the wind and leave it all right here in Tennessee.
Georgia, can Pato O'Ward make it to the finish without fuel?
Pato O'Ward is looking for his 4th win of the season, and I just checked in with the team and asked them the simple question, can you make it home on fuel? And they responded, yes, Pato O'Ward can make it these last 14 laps.
And he's got a lap on the likes of Colton Herta, who was leading before this sequence of stops.
Well, it's a 24-second lap time, and O'Ward is 24 seconds back of Kirkwood. The question is, what is the gap between O'Ward and Herta?
So we have telemetry in the booth, what helps us with that, but when they're all bunched up together, they're too close to be able to see.
Kirkwood comes to pit lane, your leader. This is going to let us see how it all shakes out as everybody on the 1 lap down program gets that lap back. And Dave, the 27 is coming to you.
And Hinch, you know how to save a little time on a pit stop. You don't see tires laid out there. This is going to be splash and go for pole sitter Kyle Kirkwood.
Nice call. I like that from the 27 crew with only 12 to go. The tires are hot. The primaries have been holding on. Now we've got to see where he blends back out. And we see now the difference between O'Ward and Herta. There's a 6-second gap roughly. That's just changed. Hold on. Let's wait till all these pit cars get back on track.
That's what about what I see out the window. As Kirkwood will blend out. Remember, he was close to his teammate, but there goes Colton Herta by. Kirkwood will slot back up, probably behind Marcus Armstrong.
That's 4th position right there, so that'll put Kirkwood down to 6th. Armstrong now up to 5th. You see Malukas still has to pit. Palou, we heard, has to pit. That puts Award in the effective lead with a 4-second gap over Colton Herta. But right now, Colton Herta running about a second a lap faster. He's the fastest car on the racetrack. Bit between his teeth. He is all push right now, trying to catch the number 5.
No fuel save for Colton Herta at all, and maybe just as important or more important, fresher Firestones. As Pato O'Ward tries to chew up traffic, that's Alex Palou right in front of him in the DHL car.
This is huge. This really allows Colton Herta to close on O'Ward with him jammed up, and now Will Power mixing things up.
That is not what he wants to see there. You see Rossi, his teammate, coming up behind him. He might not get involved in this.
And there's the yellow and black car of Colton Herta exiting turn 4, and now Rossi, who's leaving Arrow McLaren, looks to pass O'Ward. On board here with Herta, he's coming.
We got a race. Rossi has gone around his teammate, Pato O'Ward, now in the back of this 5-car train. Colton Herta is the next car up, and he is right there as Rossi tries to go on the inside of Palou and make
this is going to jam up Pato O'Ward even more. Look at Colton Herta looking high.
He's got to be patient. He's been so good in traffic, Townsend. You don't want to force the issue, but this is for the lead of the race with less than 10 to go.
And look at the traffic right in front. That is the soon-to-be champion, Alex Palou. And Pato O'Ward gets below him. Herta has to stay on the pedal going around the outside, trying to stay in touch with Pato O'Ward to win the season finale. Malukas in front is going to, we think, need to pit, but we're down to 7 laps to go.
This is absolutely phenomenal, the battle. Colton Herta, great run off of turn 4. He's in the draft. There's traffic in front. That's going to affect all the air that both these drivers are dealing with. Connor Daly getting out of the way. Can't get it done for Herta on this lap.
Very decisive, deliberate moves from both Herta and O'Ward through traffic. Now O'Ward has a little bit of breathing room. There's one more car to clear, but Colton Herta looks so fast.
How has Malukas gone several laps more than everyone else that has already bailed? There he is. We see him heading down to pit lane. So this is now for the lead of the race and winning the season finale. Pato O'Ward trying to win for the 4th time this season. Colton Herta lives here in Nashville, has never won in an oval. He's got fresher Firestones. Can he chase down O'Ward?
These two drivers went at it in the junior formula in the Indy Light Series many years ago. O'Ward beat Herta for the championship. Herta would love nothing more to stick it to O'Ward and get his first oval win today. And Stingray Rob pushes O'Ward high.
O'Ward goes high. Colt goes low. He's side by side. He's going to have the inside line into 3, and Herta is through.
Colton Herta has taken the lead at Nashville Superspeedway. Can he win his hometown race? Would be the first one on an oval. Herta starting to gap O'Ward. We're inside 5 to go. 4 to go in the season finale. Does O'Ward have a response?
What a brilliant call from Colton Herta as O'Ward went high, backed off the throttle, pinched it low.
You can't plan that. That's just raw instinct. Seat of the pants talent. Absolute killer instincts at the right time. It'll be 3 to go at the line. 1 car ahead, which is Rossi, but Rossi is quick. I don't think he's going to factor. Colton dropping O'Ward and riding to his first oval win.
He's running away with it. He's been on pole in Nashville at the street race a few years back. Wasn't able to convert it to a win, but as he pulls away further from Pato O'Ward, it is looking more and more likely with 2 to go that Colton Herta will get a win in his hometown and a win on an oval for the first time in his IndyCar career.
He's the youngest that's ever won an IndyCar race before. He was 18 years old. The last 2 seasons, though, have been massively disappointing for Colton Herta. He won a race in 22, nothing last year, 10th in the championship each of the last 2 years, and where he's at right now, Colton Herta would finish 2nd in the championship. We'll keep an eye on Alex Palou. Alex Palou is going to become the 2nd youngest 3-time champion ever. Only Sam Hornish Jr. has been younger to win a 3rd championship. He's not going to win his first oval race, but once again, he's done what he has to do. And Colton Herta, who lives in Nashville, Tennessee, has now conquered an oval for the first time. Herta wins the season finale in Nashville, finishes 2nd in the championship. Pato Award comes home second. The Nashville native Joseph Newgarden in third. Now we watch Chip Ganassi's DHL driver, Alex Palou. It's the Palou Show, a 3-time champion. All in the last 4 years. Alex Palou did it.
Let's go, boys! Yes, yes! Thank you, guys! You guys are the best! Woo! It's great to see you, man. What a team. Thank you so much. Thank you, DHL. Woo!
This checkered flag moment is brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. Let's get the donuts in the grass at the Nashville Superspeedway.
Hey, we don't got to save that engine for anything. Season is done. He can tear that house down, burn the Firestones off it, push that Honda engine to the limit. What a great drive and a cool victory.
And the way he did it, I mean, Colton Herta, like we talked about, just such pure, raw instinct at the critical time. It looked like O'Ward was going to be able to hang on, but it was lap traffic that jammed him up. And for this guy, I feel like he still just arrived in IndyCar. He's already a 3-time champion.
Nashville crowd getting treated to 2 sets of donuts. Hope you're hungry, Nashville. A great show. What a race to cap off the season, but man, what a season for this driver right here.
Back-to-back titles for the first time in well over a decade. Dario Franchitti was the last to do it when he won 3 in a row, also with Chip Ganassi Racing.
Don't think he meant to park it there. Victory Lane's a bit of a trek, but hometown crowd loves it.
Don't think he cares one bit either. Ah, yes, take a bow, young man. Beautiful stuff.
Party's at Colton's house tonight. It's not far away. He is a California native, spent some time in Florida, and has made a home here in Nashville, Tennessee, and that's where he broke through for his first oval win. Scott McLaughlin said it earlier this year. He's won a lot of races, a lot of championships. Said, I didn't consider myself an IndyCar driver until I won in an oval. He's won twice now. And you can see what this means to Colton Herta and the Gamebridge Andretti Global team too. And also, as mentioned, that win moves him up to 2nd in the championship. That is a big deal.
Huge.
And if you want to think super license points, if you want to go down that conversation, does that not now make him eligible for a super license?
Well, I
Gets him closer.
Gets him closer? Okay.
All Colton's thinking about is finally, I got it done on an oval. And boy, he should be excited for next season, as strong as Andretti's been in so many formats. But for Alex Palou, once again, cruising in style as the champion.
Rick Mears and Sebastian Bourdais both won 3 championships in their first 4 years. Mario Andretti won 3 in 5 years. So is Alex Palou.
How about that? 3 and 5, same as the GOAT Mario Andretti.
I mean, but at 27, you think about the guys that are still excelling in their 40s, like Scott Dixon, like Will Power.
That's Ricky Davis, who's been very important in his development.
Nice. Awesome, guys.
So great to see Barry Wanzer in victory lane.
Well done. Well done. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well done.
So Alex Palou now jumps to his crew. They came to his assistance. There's Ricky Davis. We talked to him before the race got started. And there's Barry Wanzer, who could not celebrate in person last year, battling cancer. He's with us now, and is glad he is not the story this year. You are the story again. Just got to wonder, did you have any relax at all when you knew Will had problems early on?
I mean, yeah, but not really. Honestly, we just had to keep on going. Have to thank everybody working on the 10 car, everybody at CGR back at the shop, all the cars, all my teammates, DHL, American Legion, PNC Bank, and all our partners. So yeah, super proud about it. It's been an amazing year, and I'm happy we got the championship back home.
All right, we'll talk to you in a little bit. We're going to let you celebrate down here. Some breaking news going on. We have to break away, and we'll send it back to you, Kev.
Okay, so it's a fluid situation. Peacock may be your source for here, but in the meantime, we're going to take you to NBC News. Welcome back to Nashville Superspeedway and the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix, just east of Nashville, Tennessee, in Lebanon, Tennessee. We have just seen a thriller. Alex Palou finished 11th to win the championship. Colton Herta with a daring in-traffic late pass on Pato Award has won the race, and that allows us to take a look at the Pennzoil moment of the race. Inside 5 laps to go with the Game Bridge on board looking up ahead. Little pick, Pato on the outside, Stingray Robb in the middle. Colton Herta down on the low side, as close as you can have it. And Colton Herta has prevailed and has won in Nashville, Georgia.
He has won for the first time on an oval. You said you wanted to see that move. Now that you've seen us, tell us about it. How much intuition played a role in the move that decided your winning race today?
Well, I guess it was thanks that Stingray was there. We had a pick to play off of. You know, the whole race I was getting all my passing done off of the corners. You know, really able to drive middle to exit of the corner, get the power down really nicely, and that was just what that was. We were showing it off, and you know, luckily we had just enough room between me and Stingray. There might have been a small nudge there, but I had to use every bit of them to accelerate onto the straight. But man, I'm so happy. Group 1001, Cambridge Honda has been so fast this whole weekend. You know, we didn't get to show it in qualifying, but we knew we were going to have a hot rod in the race. So, just thanks to everybody involved this year. It's been an amazing year. You know, I just saw on the screen there that I'm second in the championship, which is awesome. But yeah, hoping to do a little bit better next year.
I was going to say, how storybook is this for you? Second in the championship, you win at your home race. You do this for your team, and you cap off the year with a win.
It's amazing. I couldn't ask for a better ending to the year. You know, I'm so happy with all the work that everyone's done this year. These guys behind me have been rock stars all year, and you know, today we just showed it. Strategy was great. Pit stops were fantastic. We just put everything together, and it was a great race from us.
The effort has shown through today. Colton Herta gets his first oval win with the Game Bridge Honda number 26. Guys,
great fun today. Great atmosphere. Great racing. Here are the final results, unofficial, in the championship. So we see Herta moving up. Hey, Scott McLaughlin, I know this is a proud moment. Highest finishing Penske in the season championship.
Yeah, and
second year in a row.
Yeah. I'm still catching my breath, guys, from the move of the race. Colton Herta, that's the move of the season that he put on Stingray Robb and ultimately Pato Award on the back straightaway. That was awesome stuff, and big shout out to Santino Ferrucci for finishing 9th in the championship with AJ Foyt.
Best finish they've had since 2002. Here's the rest of the standings, and when you get down in the 18, 19, 20, and beyond range, these are the driver points in the championship. The money goes to the entrant points, and that was very much in play going into today. It was one of the other storylines that we were watching how that would play out. It was separated by 1 for 22nd and 23rd. The top 22 is how that played out. And we've done the math now, and it still was separated by 1. So Christian Rasmussen got the job done. Ed Carpenter stepped out of the car and said, I think Rasmussen, the rookie, can do it. He did it. Pietro Fittipaldi hangs on for Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan, and unfortunately AJ Foyt Racing and Stingray Robb miss out by just 1 point. So that's one story. It's time for the big prize now. We head downstairs to Dave Burns.
Oh, Kevin, as if that wasn't enough excitement today on track, there's more to happen here in Victory Lane with the 10 team and Alex Palou, and we'll get to him in just a moment. Joining me on stage right now is Mark Miles, President CEO of Penske Entertainment Corp. And also, I'm going to invite up to the stage the manufacturer winners for this year from Chevrolet, Rob Buckner, and also Eric Warren. Come right over here, and they're going to receive that hardware from Mark Miles. Let's see, this afternoon, let's see, a Honda one. So that was 11 wins on the season for Chevrolet, and they win the Manufacturers Championship for the 3rd year in a row. Good job, guys. By the way, that was back-to-back Indy 500s, too, for Chevrolet, so they're going to look for 3 in a row next year. Okay, let's fill the stage with Chip Ganassi Racing, folks, shall we? Starting with the man himself. Chip Ganassi joins us on stage now. Chip, come on up here. Oh, he's inviting them all up. I think we have room, sure. And also, let's bring up the championship driver, everyone, Alex Palou, to the stage. Chip, a quick word with you. As I start counting, I lose fingers to count your championships on here. But 3 out of the last 4 years with this guy here. How cool is that?
Really cool. You know, I mean, it's just, the guy never broke a sweat. I mean, just unbelievable the way he drives, the way he came into our team a few years ago down in Alabama, won his first race out, and it's been smooth sailing since.
And this 10 team, very veteran, very still together. How do you keep them together? I guess they like winning, huh?
They like winning. That helps.
That helps a whole lot. Chip Ganassi, another championship for him. By the way, 10 championships since they last raced here at the Nashville Superspeedway, so congratulations to you. Let me step over here to the driver. Alex Palou, your 2024 NTT IndyCar Series champion. Well, let's talk about the year, my friend. A third championship for you, but you didn't win every race. You told me on Friday this wasn't as easy as it might have looked, right?
Yeah, man, what a year. Thank you, everybody. Everybody that is working on this car, but also everybody behind the shop, making sure that we can win championships. So thank you all the fans as well. And what a year, man. We've been close, not winning that much. We won 2 races, so it's been hectic at the end, but I'm glad that we have the 10 DHL car here.
How did you keep a demeanor that was championship-like throughout? Because you mentioned it, you'd like to win 4 or 5, right, like you did last year, but it didn't happen. How'd you keep that demeanor so calm?
I think we've been really close, man. Just didn't maximize in some places, like I would say Iowa, I did a mistake, spun and crashed. Mid-Ohio could have won there, so next year, we'll learn from what we can improve from this year, and hopefully next year we can do it.
This time last year, daughter Luthia was not born. She is now with you. She's going to be in some pictures, I think, later, right, with mom, Esther, right? So a few years from now, you're going to look at pictures with her. She's going to say, Daddy, that's me. What are you going to tell her about her role in the 2024 championship?
Man, winning races is the best thing in the world. Being a dad is the best thing in the world. So if you combine both at the same time, it's, yeah, I cannot describe it. So it's amazing. Mama is amazing as well. And I'm glad that she's there, able to be here winning with us.
Yeah, because she's a race fan too, right? She likes to see her husband win.
Oh, yeah, she does. She does. Hopefully, Luthia doesn't like it as much.
Get a big nod from Esther out there. All right, we are going to probably look at some hardware here, some bling, I believe. So let's invite up the representatives from Jostens. Kurt and Jack Bruns, come on up here. Mike Hull with a big congratulations to his driver. Guys, you have a little something for Alex Palou, I understand? Oh, he's done this before. It's a good fit, and you'd expect nothing less from Jostens. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate that. All right, let's also bring up Makiko Sakin, Head of Public Relations for NTT Holdings. And bring Mark Miles back up front here. Mark, where did you run off to? Because I think it's going to take a couple of you to present this. Mark, would you do the honors with the Astor Cup?
First, a few thanks to IndyCar fans all over the world who've been fantastic this year throughout this championship, but especially the fans in Nashville who've given us an unbelievable finale, a great weekend. To NTT and all of our partners there, all of our sponsors, all of our drivers, all of our promoters and team owners, great year, thank you so much. Mostly I want to, today I want to, where is Scott Borchetta? He's got to be somewhere. Anyway, the promoter of the Big Machine, Music City Grand Prix, I guess you'll hear from Scott later, but Scott, we love you, thank you so much. And now congratulations. Chip Ganassi's made this easy. This is number 16. That is rare air. Congratulations. We're used to doing this. And Alex, man, congratulations. You're not supposed to be able to do this this many times this young. But I think by now we know how to do this trophy thing, so we'll try it right now. Congratulations to you and the whole team.
All right, I get a drum roll here. Mark to Alex. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 NTT IndyCar Series champion, now a 3-time champion, Alex Palou. And that is going to find a good place for them, either in the shop or at home, wherever it must end up. Okay, that's your winner, that's your champion. One more time for Alex Palou.
And now we'll catch up with Will Power. And Will, it's to my understanding that your belts were more of a pop sensation. Can you tell us about the moment that your belts failed?
Yeah, I was just driving down the front stretch there, and I just felt a pop, like on the lap belt. And I'm like, man, that's weird. And I felt kind of loose in the car, in the seat. So came out of turn 2, and I was feeling around, and I felt the end of the belt as go in. I'm like, man, my belt just came off. We're gonna have to pit. Then it took 5 laps to, you know, we learned after, because it happened a second time, the end of the race, so we learned how to do it quickly. So if we'd known that, but that's a very abnormal thing. I don't know what went wrong. We'll have to send it back to the manufacturer. It's a very strange failure. Actually, I do wonder if I hit the wall, if it was going to break and I was going to, you know, have a real bad situation. But yep, I've never had that before. That's a, you know, you have engine failures, you have gearbox failures. I had a belt failure, so yeah, disappointing, but big congrats to Alex. A tough guy to beat, tough guy. Ganassi obviously does a fantastic job, and it's been fun racing those guys this year. And you know, we dropped back to 4th because of this day, but man, if you don't win, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm happy with the season. The whole team, you know, won about half the races, so we did well, but want to win that championship, so we'll come back fighting next year.
Well, and I was just going to ask, an unfortunate start to today, but this is a long season. How proud are you of your team throughout the entirety of the season? Yeah,
we did a great job winning the Indy 500, winning the most races of any team, and I was stoked to win 3 races this year. So it's a tough series, very difficult to win, and got to thank Verizon and Chevy. You know, those guys have been fantastic. I only used 4 engines this year, so the reliability was great, and we'll come back fighting next year.
Back and better than ever next year. That's Will Power.
Will Power is showing that there is still plenty left in the tank. Was in the fight for the championship all season long and did not really get the chance to compete for this one today. Remarkable season for him and so many others. And again, this is how it finished up with Alex Palou winning for the 3rd time in 4 years. How about this list? 3-time champion, the only drivers that have won more than 3. Sebastian Bourdais, Mario Andretti, Dario Franchitti, Scott Dixon, and A.J. Foyt. That is some company. There's plenty more to come as we wrap up the season. We're going to have some special moments, too. You're going to hear from Lee Diffie, too, coming up in a little bit. Chip Ganassi likes winners, he likes champions, and they should know how to celebrate. Alex Palou alone has done it 3 times in the last 4 years with the number 10 team. And the celebration continues. Party just getting started in Nashville, Tennessee. Great finishes for so many. Hey, there's 9 championships right there. Scott Dixon in to offer his thoughts, and Palou is always quick to credit Dixon for helping him ascend in his first year with the team 4 years ago, winning a championship, now number 4. Other great stories today and more, and one of them is with Georgia.
Yeah, David Malukas finished 9th on the day. You had a rocket ship underneath you, but I'd like to dive in a little bit more to the strategy today for the team.
Yeah, I mean, the team did an incredible job. Our car was a rocket. I mean, we were so fast every restart. I mean, we were going and just hitting numbers and really saving the tires. But at the end there, we made a strategy call, and we wanted to stay out. And maybe if a yellow came out, then we'd have a chance. But at the end of the day, you know, the team had a goal in mind, and that was leader circle money. So no matter what happened, we had that secured. So taking the risk and dropping back to P9, I mean, that was okay from the team side. So overall, though, it's been an incredible journey. It's been a season for me. We've had highs and lows, and the Meyershank family brought me in. They took a risk on me. They didn't know where my hand was at. I didn't know where it was at, and we ended up having a really good time and building a relationship, and I'll never forget it. I mean, I think I'm always going to say it, but I think they really saved my career.
If you had any final words to Meyershank Racing for the year, aside from what you just very nicely said, what would they be?
I mean, like I said, you know, we're moving on to AJ Foyt, but I mean, they're always going to have a part of my heart. They're going to be like family to me. I think out of all the teams that I've been going to, they treated me the best, and it was, man, it was. I'm almost going to like shed a tear. It was so nice, but it's been a great time from Mike, Jim, all the sponsors, from the guys. It's a really good group of people, and I'm very thankful to be a part of the opportunity there.
Thanks, David. Great job today.
That's one of the storylines. Some changes are in store. David Malukas is headed to AJ Foyt Racing, finished up the season in style. 9th place finish today. He was leading, starting to wonder, hey, have they somehow found some magical fuel to get home? They had to make the stop. 9th finish on the lead lap. Linus Lundqvist note there. I think he and Marcus Armstrong, the two young Ganassi drivers, had a good day.
Great for Connor Daly to bring home another top 10 for JHR, and you see there your champion below. Good result for Jack Harvey as well up there in 13.
Also, Christian Rasmussen getting the job done for Ed Carpenter Racing, just like Malukas was brought in for that leader circle battle. Christian Rasmussen also drafted in to finish off from team owner Ed Carpenter on the ovals, and he delivered today.
Unfortunately, there were some early exits. Felix Rosenquist found wall contact after showing pace early in the day with a mechanical issue.
Twice failed.
We started the day with them. Let's just listen.
I'm like, fuck. And then like 10 to go. Boom.
Oh, 10 to go as well?
Yeah.
Is our podium
faulty
Shit.
You can't, like, I don't know what happens if I crash.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, Will told us that a few minutes ago. A second issue with the lap belts as well. But great sportsmanship, Will Power. As I mentioned, we started the day on the grid with them, and that's how they finish up. A 3-time champion, a 2-time champion. Welcome into the broadcast booth, Kevin Lee, Townsend Bell, and James Hinchcliffe. It's been a fantastic season. One of my prevailing thoughts of this year that I come away with, oval racing is back. Not just the Indianapolis 500, but we had some really good shows.
Fantastic stuff on the ovals, but I think it's because of the amazing drivers we have, the aggression that we're seeing out of the younger drivers. Colton Herta, I mean, are you kidding me? What a way to finish off this season with such a bold, brave move off of turn 2 here. But we've got Pato O'Ward, Kyle Kirkwood doing amazing stuff, Ferrucci coming on strong, David Malukas, the future is bright, and I know the fans love IndyCar for good old-fashioned hard racing. It delivered all year long.
And look, for me, it's how many winners we had, how many different teams we had. We had 4 different teams with multiple winning drivers in the championship. We had 4 different teams in the top 5. We've talked a lot about Penske and Ganassi dominating. Yes, they did ultimately win the championship this year. Andretti Global was back up there in 2nd place. McLaren with Pato O'Ward in 5th. So guys, we have 4 teams consistently fighting for wins week in and week out, and that means good shows for the fans at home.
Let's hear from somebody else that thought they had a really good chance to win today. Kyle Kirkwood is with Georgia.
Absolutely. He started on the pole. He finished 4th, all things considered. What are your takeaways from today?
I mean, it was a good day. I think somebody said we led the most laps. I'm not really sure about that. But we led a lot of laps here today. And I'm super proud of what we're able to do here at Andretti, obviously with Colton's win, but also with our performance. We obviously led that entire first stint. That yellow was not friendly to us whatsoever. Really caught us out, put us a lap down, had to get our lap back. But I knew we had a really good car. That car was absolutely on fire in that first stint, and in traffic it was great. So we just drove back through the field up into a top 5 position, right? Another top 5 for us here at Andretti. I said at the beginning of the season that was always my goal, was to get more top 5s, and we did it again here today. Can't be too upset with it. Obviously, we want the win. We wanted a podium. We were in a podium position, 10 laps to go. But I just struggled with the car a little bit too much there at the very, very end. So ultimately, it was a good day.
There were a lot of unknowns before this race about the different tire compounds. What were both of those like?
So I didn't really feel a massive difference. I know a lot of people did. I thought the Reds definitely had more grip. But at the end of a stint, you weren't really sure what they were going to do, whether it was going to be a vibration or deg or whatnot. The primes definitely just lasted a lot longer, but they didn't have the ultimate grip that the Reds did on the very beginning of the stint, right? So it was easier on restarts or on the start to pass people on Reds, but it was easier to pass people at the end of a stint on primes, especially if they're on Reds. So yeah, it could go either way. It was a bit of a coin toss between the two.
So it is confirmed you did lead the most laps today. So to end the season on a high note, look forward to the following seasons. What does that mean to you and the team? I mean, it's big. It's massive for me because I haven't been the best oval racer in the world the past couple of years, and I've been getting better. And today was a really good day for me. Best oval finish I think I've ever had, and we led the most laps I've probably ever have on an oval. So all combined, I could imagine. So yeah, really good day for the team as well. Building off of this into next year, especially for our oval performances, it's big for the confidence to keep striving and keep working towards the ultimate goal, which is to win the 25 season now. Ending on a high note. That's Kyle Kirkwood. Great job.
And the progression continues in his young career. 11th last year in the championship in his first year with the Andretti Global. Comes home 7th in the championship in this season. A Nashville resident won the race today. A Nashville native was very much in the mix, and Dave finished on the podium.
Another podium for Joseph Newgarden, and I heard you kind of roll your eyes in there. Seems kind of fitting, just a podium, right? Are you ready to be done with 2024, or are you excited about what you got done today?
Well, it's probably more towards, the potential conversation where, our potential was really high today. The team did an excellent job, as they always do, and just come up third. It's hard for me to shed the competitor in me. Winning is what counts and what matters, and we didn't get that today. And I think that fits for 2024. We just got a lot more potential, and I'm excited about 2025. I've always believed heavily in our group and what we do. So, yeah, tough day to end, but great to be here in Nashville. Gosh, we got to be here, and everybody that made that happen. Scott Borchetta, Big Machine, just a great group, incredible crowd for a switch over year. So I'm really proud of everybody that's put this effort on. IndyCar did a great job. And thank you to Team Chevy, all our partners, Estemo that was out here. All in all, a lot to fight for in the future is what I feel like. So that's a good note to end on.
Where do you want to race in Nashville in the future? Where?
As long as we're here. This produced a really great race. We kind of hoped we would have a racing package, and we had it today. So, thank goodness. Everyone worked really hard on this. Okay, we tested here a couple times. Firestone put a ton of effort behind this. Firestone always works really hard for us, but it is not an exact science. You're somewhat educationally, or you're given an educational guess is what I should say, on what you think is going to be right. And I think they did a great job. So, yeah, proud of that. Whether it's here or it's downtown, I don't think it matters. We just need to be racing in Nashville or the vicinity of Nashville. And we got to keep it on the calendar for a long time to come.
Great job today. Podium finish for Joseph Newgarden. Georgia?
Well, I'm here with Santino Ferrucci, and we're just talking about his incredible stats this season. I mean, when you look at it as a whole, it was 11 top 10s. I mean, it's kind of unheard of. It's really great for you and the team, and I know you wanted to cap it on a high note. What are your thoughts after the race?
Man, I just can't thank this team enough. Everything Larry's done for my career, Marlene Sexton, Chevrolet, all of our other partners, Petroactive, Phoenix, Investors, Borchetta Bourbon here this weekend. I mean, just everybody. It takes a village. I know our mechanics have just worked day and night. They were here late last night till 1 a.m. making an engine change, showed back up early this morning to get an install done. So just the amount of dedication that this team's put out for me. I really wanted to finish off with the top 5, but to end up 9th in the Drivers' Championship is a huge win for us, and we just can't wait to build off of that next year.
It seems like at some point there was contact with Scott McLaughlin. Do you have any words towards that?
Yeah, I thought I had a clean run on the inside of him. It was a little wheel to wheel. I had no idea he was fighting for second in the championship, but all I was trying to do was get in the top 5. So, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't going to lift. So, but that if you watch how hard he raced Joseph and they race each other, I just kind of figured that that's how we were supposed to be racing each other too. I guess not.
Thanks, Santino. Dave.
How about second place today for Pato Award? I know it's what you didn't want, right? You wanted that first place spot. What was the racing like? It looked like fun to us.
Oh, man, it was super, super fun out there. The team out of McLaren, Team Chevy did a phenomenal job with the strategy. And honestly, I had no idea where I was the whole race. I was just putting out qualifying laps. And, oh, man, it's always just annoying to lose it. Just those few laps before the end. So, but no, nevertheless, I think it's a great end to the season. Season filled of ups and downs. I would say there wasn't something in the middle ever. So I'm just glad we ended on a good note, and we were able to fight out there. We had the opportunity to win today, and we just fell a little short. I was surviving those last few laps. It was freaking gnarly.
Well, it seems like when I talk to you guys, you'd rather have a race where you just push all the time and it's just about going all out, right?
That's what we're built for. So I've got the adrenaline up to here, and now it's starting to wear off a little bit. It'll be tough to sleep on a flight tonight over to overseas. But yeah, I'm super stoked for the team and happy to see everyone smiles that we got a win a week ago, a couple weeks ago, and well, almost a win this weekend. But we're happy with P2, and we'll see what we got for next year. We'll be pushing.
Sounds good. Great result today for Pato. Kev?
Pato is always a show, and the show has been awesome this year, and it has been for a long time. This has been so much fun to get a chance to spend the second half of the season up here in the booth with you guys. No one ever knows what's next in the future. You both made a wonderful transition to doing this as broadcasters. What have you taken away? And by the way, you never know what's coming up next. We hope we all see you somewhere, some way down the road, but you have become a master communicator, Townsend Bell.
Well, Kevin, first, you've been doing this longer than anybody on the NBC team, and the way you slid right into the primary play-by-play role late in the season's been fantastic. For me personally, a career I never saw coming. When Terry Linger shoved a mic and said, "Get down to pit lane," I had no idea what I was doing, and I have just barely improved since then, but it's been a lot of fun. James, great job coming into the booth. I love going at it with you week to week. I hope we might find a chance to do that at some point in the future. Your thoughts on the last few years as a broadcaster?
Look, it's been phenomenal, guys. You know, for me, stepping out of the race car, it's always scary, Townsend. You did it. You know what it's like. Anytime an athlete stops the sport, gives up the one thing they've done exclusively their entire life, it's a little bit terrifying. But I had the same conversation with Terry Ligner, who offered me a microphone back in 2020 when I was doing a partial season, and that really laid the groundwork for this. And I just can't say thank you enough to everybody at NBC Sports for welcoming me, making me so comfortable, and making that transition, that scary transition for an athlete into a new world, so easy and so much fun. It's been a blast. I've had fun sparring with you as well. Kevin, I've learned so much from you, from Diff, from everybody that's worked on the broadcast, both sides of the camera. It's been a lot of fun.
Hey, we knew it was coming for him because we used to joke when he was driving. Whenever he stops, he's taking somebody's job because he is a naturalist. Quick thoughts on the season and what we've just seen.
Just sensational. I think back as I see Joseph Newgarden right there to the greatest spectacle in racing and the move that Joseph Newgarden put on that guy, Pato Award, to win his second Indy 500. I'm not sure I've ever been more excited for the kind of aggressive racing that we love in IndyCar than that moment. You're looking at two of the bravest men on the planet, two very talented racing drivers, and I think that picture right there, along with Colton Herta and his heavy dose of aggro to win this race. We're so lucky in IndyCar to have great talent, great aggression, and just unbelievable racing on track.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the season, we've seen incredible racing, guys, on all of the different types of racetracks, be it street circuits, be it road courses, be it ovals, short or long, as we see Scott Borchetta keep up the Nashville tradition of giving a Gibson guitar to the winner. Very exciting for Colton Herta, but yeah, for me, it's been the racing, the competitiveness. Every year we say that the IndyCar Series gets more and more competitive, and I gotta say, we kept that trend going in 2024. Absolutely thrilling from start to finish.
Thank you to Scott Borchetta. Thank you to Big Machine for saving this event. And we look forward to brighter days and all the partners for IndyCar as well that have made this season so much fun. The party's just getting started here in Nashville, and you know they can celebrate. Well, the end of a season is always bittersweet. We get to celebrate success and a champion and a growing legend in Alex Palou, but it will be a bit before we see IndyCars again. And as we know, there will always be change. There'll be drivers coming and going. There's a new team coming in 2025, adjustments to the schedule, and a new television broadcast partner. Today ends our 16-year relationship at Comcast and NBC Sports with IndyCar. We wish Fox Sports nothing but success as they continue the momentum, excitement, and great stories in the NTT IndyCar Series starting in St. Pete on March 2nd. I've been fortunate enough to be around for pretty much the entire ride since the legendary late Bob Jenkins brought us on air with Versus in 2009, and I've been the caretaker to bring us to the finish. But Lee Diffie has been our leader for over a decade and has joined the likes of Bob, Paul Page, Jim McKay as iconic voices in our sport, and it seems appropriate that Diff takes us to the checker flag on our time together.
An IndyCar race is packed with important numbers, so too is a TV broadcast. The most important figure about this telecast, though, is one, the last one. After covering 216 races and in excess of 50,000 miles of racing on Versus, NBCSN, Peacock, USA and NBC, it's time for NBC Sports to say farewell to IndyCar for now. The journey has been as enjoyable as a day by the beach, a bra in the park, and some milk witnessed by the world. We've watched a new generation of drivers chase the legends of the sport and in some cases catch and pass them on the record board.
Will Power, the greatest qualifier in IndyCar history, 68 pole positions.
Fresh faces entered their cockpits and looked like veterans with competitive standards measured within thousandths of a second. Their rocket ships evolved over the years, but the margin to belong remained the slimmest in the sport. Undoubtedly the most important evolution, the aero screen, and the safety it brought with it. For 6 years, we have had the honour to work for you at the greatest spectacle in racing.
This is, and always will be, the greatest spectacle in racing.
As new legacies were achieved, others repeated. None more surreal than Takuma Sato's second win. And perhaps the finest hour.
Welcome to the four-time club, Helio Castro-Neves!
The Spider-Man, Helio Castro-Neves, winning his fourth Indy 500. The journey has been a treasured one, and as exciting as that 5-wide breathtaker in Fontana.
Whoa!
Along the way, we've made so many friends and witnessed immeasurable courage. Sadly, we've had to wish Godspeed to colleagues, to a gentle giant, and to a lionheart. We've been fortunate to watch the ageless Scott Dixon sit peerless as the greatest modern-era IndyCar racer, and now witness a protege being crowned with his third title in 5 years. It's been quite the ride, a privileged one, and the best part of it all was having you there with us the entire way.